Hey there, stargazers. Emphasis on the gay. Welcome back to Luna's List. I'm Luna. Whoa! Heidi, thank you for the 17 heckin' months.
What? Geeks just subscribed at tier 1.
Thank
you so much. Woo.
Cutie. Also, Heidi's here. Say hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Oh, I forgot to mute my phone. Hold on. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. Whoops. Look. We got cheese. Thank you for claiming your daily cheeses, everybody. How even what? How?
17 months?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
We got cheese.
Angry Snake, thank you for the 35 stream streak. And also,
we got cheese.
You said I think you know. I don't know. What am I supposed to be ready for, Angry Snake? I have no idea. Today we are reading Carmilla as one of the things y'all unlocked as part of the subathon from last summer. Sorry it took me so long to get to it. I was waiting for a good day because I wanted Heidi here as well.
I'm here.
And Friday the 13th, day before Halloween, Valentine's Day. Absolute perfect day to do Carmilla, lesbian vampire story. Also, I fucking love Friday the 13th. 13 is my favorite number, and I think Friday the 13th is good luck, personally. Oh, you know, I don't, Angry Snake. I don't. Wow, Pending. Pending says, I wish someone would les on my bean. Me too. Yeah. What about you, Heidi? I think that's a yes. Oh, no. No, it probably did. My microphone shouldn't really peak anymore. Everything should come through.
Well, it hurt everyone's ears, so I need to apologize.
No, I think you're good, because I have a limiter on it, so it can't go above a certain decibel range.
You're so fancy.
I'm so fancy pants, except that I'm not wearing pants. I have a skirt on. Whatever. Welcome in, everybody. Grats on being first. Who was first? Happy. Welcome in, Happy. Welcome in, Cookie. Welcome in, Bramo. Welcome in, Angry Snake. Welcome in, Heidi. Welcome in, Pending. And anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? I think that's everybody. Yeah, Heidi? What's up?
Can I do ASMR?
Sure.
Okay.
That did sound pretty nice. Hello, Cat Lady. Hello, Alex the Dumb. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, hello.
Cheese.
Dr. Pepper. No, it's not Dr. Pepper. What you drinking, Heidi? What is it?
Peach Red Bull.
She drinking a peach Red Bull.
But only the little itty bitty baby one.
Yeah, it's a tiny one. Alex, you're totally heckin' definitely first. I can't believe nobody grabbed that yet. That's unheckin' believable. So we're just gonna be kind of vibing today. I'm gonna be reading the book. I'll have the PDF up on screen as well for y'all to read along with if you want. Or you can just search up Carmilla PDF. It is in what's the word for something that's old so it's free? Public domain. It's public domain, so you can download it for free. Carmilla PDF. But I will also have it on the stream, and Heidi's gonna be reading along with my physical book that she got me. Was that a Christmas or birthday gift?
I got fall.
Probably birthday gift? I don't know.
I think it was just you have to have this.
Oh, it was a just because gift, and it's got fancy red-lined pages. It's very cool. I like it a lot.
The outside of it's red.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. But yeah. So we're gonna be reading that. I did put the trigger warnings in a pinned message up at the top. It's not. There's not like the book is from the 1800s. It's not anything super duper crazy, but the trigger warnings are blood and gore, predatory attraction, because you know, vampire. That comes with the territory. Body horror, violence, and degenerative illness. So, just something y'all should be aware of. Hi, Luna. Guess what? What? Cookie, what? Hi, Cookie. Hi, Cookie, what? What's that? What am I guessing? Chicken butt. Chicken butt. Is that, did I get it right? Ah! My face! Thank you for the 17 heckin' months, Cookie! Oh my goodness!
Cookie
385
just subscribed a tier 1. Thank you so much. Danger
417
heart.
Month streak! Y'all crazy! Crazy. Hello, Tax Lord. Welcome in. First time chatter. Say hi to the first time chatter, everybody.
First time chatter.
You're so cute, Heidi. I love you. Oh my goodness. Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're about to get started reading an incredible lesbian vampire story. I don't know if I'd call it a love story exactly. It's a vampire story, but there's some emotions and stuff in there.
Abby said chocolate, so let's go get chocolate.
Oh, we should get chocolate tomorrow. Oh, wait. Wait, you actually do have to go into town to take the kitty to the vet, so you could pick up some chocolate while you're there.
You can go with me.
I could, or I could stay home getting all pretty for our day.
And you can get chocolate. Well, I'll drop you off at the chocolate store while I go to the vet.
The chocolate store. You're doing splendid, Tax Lord. You just survived another grueling day. Well, heckin' congratulations on surviving another day. It's a struggle. I fully understand. I just got off of work myself, and it was a long day. Mary Meringue, welcome in. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Aww, da-da.
Tomorrow I'm gonna go to Home Goods.
Power
Mhm.
up.
They had boxes of macaron.
Yeah.
I can't say it. A cookie would be able. It's French and it's a cookie.
Yeah.
Cookie would be able to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, Cookie. How do you say the cookie thing? The French the macaron.
No, macaron is like coconut.
That's right. That's different. Macaron. I have no idea. I'm bad at pronouncing French things. It's fine. Thank you for the power up pending. Brought out the alt account? Alt account. Wait, whose alt account is that? Wait, is Mary Meringue an alt account? Is that a cookie alt account? You miss nipple graph. Look at this nipple graph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Oh my goodness. It's a thing. Luna, I thought I told you about this. I have a horrible memory. I don't remember. I don't remember. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Let's see. So no TTS today, no narrator says, because I'm gonna be reading a heckin' book, you know? It would just be kind of distracting. Also, I'm Lunar Eclipse the whole time just because it feels kind of fitting, you know? I think this is very vampire coded. Yes, Luna is the vampire coded one, not me. Get rid of these vampire allegations that you all keep bringing up. I'm not vampire. Nobody was even talking to you, Lily. I could hear your thoughts thinking about me saying I'm vampire in your brain. Literally wasn't doing that, but okay. It was you?
Yeah.
Heidi, why would you think I'm vampire just because I'm on the ceiling and I have strange colored skin and sharp teeth and... I'm not a vampire.
It was actually the gravity-defying boobs and hair.
That's just one of my superpowers. Oh yeah, I turned off the special redeems because I'm gonna be Luna Eclipse for the whole time, so... Yeah. Yeah. What's your special request?
Are you able to move windows on the tablet? Yes, I can see the
Yeah.
Cheese. Yay! Oh, look at them.
There you go.
There's 2 in our basement because one is sick and got hurt. And
Yeah.
I wanted him to have company. And
Yeah.
the other 2 are out there.
Yeah. Blue Nut Eclipse. This is pretty cool looking, actually. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Eee. Very, very pretty.
Your eyes are kind of scary.
It's just an eclipse. It's an eclipse form. It's pretty. I like it. Whatever. You're scary. It's vampire. I didn't mean it.
Could I be a vampire Scottish Highland cow?
Sure. She bit me.
Those were actually just my fingers.
Oh, thank you for the power up,
Did
Happy.
it feel like fangs?
It did, yeah, very, very much, yes. It felt very much like fangs. Mm-hmm.
When you were a kid, did anyone ever do the thing where they made it feel like they cracked an egg on your head?
Yep. Yep. They sure did. Penning says vampires suck, and they can suck more than my neck. Oh dear. Hell yeah, Pending. I'm liking your vibes today.
I don't get it.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Oh. I don't believe you. Happy says Luna Bramo is judging me. Bramo, no judging Happy. Happy is perfect and wonderful in every single way. You feel spicy? Yeah, you are. You're spicy. For sure. Oh, yes, good quote, Cookie. Thank you. They're using Microsoft Edge. Oh, wait, actually, Happy, Bramo's right to judge you. Oh. You use Microsoft Edge? No, you don't. I thought you used Opera. What? You're confusing me. I'm lost. I don't know. Should get a different browser? Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Do you remember getting on the internet on the Wii? Wasn't that Opera or something?
Oh, yeah. That was. That's Meringue. Meringue is using Edge right now. Oh, I see. Because your alt account uses Edge. I got you. So your alt account is always edging.
Oh, is that the joke? Haha.
Sure. Okay. Let's get started reading this heckin' book. Of course, Cookie's alt uses Edge. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Where's the... What was I doing? I forgot. Oh, right. I have to, like, press buttons and stuff. Okay. So we go over here. And then I opened the book. And then it's gonna be kind of a bright for a bit because it's a very white screen because it's a book
Are you
PDF.
able to change
Can
it
you-
to night mode or something?
Does the PDF reader have that? Does anybody know if Adobe Acrobat has like a dark mode? But I mean, it's part of the file. It's probably not. Oh, it's already in dark mode. No, it's just it's part of the file. There's nothing I can do to change it.
Oh, you're gonna wake up everybody.
What? What do you mean wake up everybody?
Well, I thought it was bedtime story time.
Oh, it won't be so bright all the time. It's just the first few pages that don't have any text on them.
We're gonna read a bedtime story to these kitties.
Hi, Sunday. Sunday says Leon has a beard, so you know time passed. That's so true. Yeah. Yep, that's how they show time passed. Okay. Let's get this PDF hacking open. Blah. There it is. Carmilla. That's the book we're reading.
Carmelo.
Cookie's talking to herself in chat. Pending, you're totally definitely first. What the heck? Sunday says, I have a beard, so you know I'm old now. True. True.
What if it's different?
Huh? Oh, the book? It won't be. It shouldn't be. Yeah, so does this one. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. Hold on. I have to get my notes up here. Okay. We're gonna start reading the second book. Okay.
Is it a love story? Is it scary?
Yes, it's scary. I don't know if
it's gay.
It's very gay, yes. How's the audio, the music volume? I want it to be pretty background and quiet. Okay, I'm gonna start reading y'all, which means less chat interaction. So enjoy. Luna story time. We're starting it. Okay. Carmilla by J. Sheridan Le Fanu. A gothic novel.
Look at the year.
Yep, this book is from 1872. Prologue.
Upon a paper attached to the narrative which follows, Dr. Hecelius has written a rather elaborate note, which he accompanies with a reference to his essay on the strange subject which the Miss illuminates. This mysterious subject he treats in that essay with his usual learning and acumen, and with remarkable directness and condensation. It will form but one volume of the series of that extraordinary man's collected papers. As I publish the case in this volume simply to interest the laity, I shall forestall the intelligent lady who relates it in nothing, and after due consideration I have determined, therefore, to abstain from presenting any précis of the learned doctor's reasoning or extract from his statement on a subject which he describes as involving, not improbably, some of the profoundest arcana of our dual existence and its intermediates. I was anxious on discovering this paper to reopen the correspondence commenced by Dr. Hecelius so many years before with a person so clever and careful as his informant seems to have been. Much to my regret, however, I found that she had died in the interval. She probably could have added little to the narrative which she communicates in the following pages, with, so far as I can pronounce, such conscientious particularity.
So, what?
Yeah, the prologue's a little... Don't worry about it. The rest of the book's not quite like that.
Do you get it?
After I've read it several times, yes. Yeah, it's a story read viral. Hi, we're reading a book.
I think in Heidi Words, this one guy found a letter and it was cray cray, and now here's the letter.
Yep, pretty much that's it. Yeah. A narrator type character found a letter from a doctor, and it was his notes about some crazy shit that happened from a girl who is the main character, who will who will be telling most of the story.
Okay.
An early fright. In Styria, we, though by no means magnificent people, inhabit a castle or schloss. A small income in that part of the world goes a great way. 800 or 900 a year does wonders. Scantily enough, ours would have answered among wealthy people at home. My father is English, and I bear an English name, though I never saw England. But here in this lonely and primitive place, where everything is so marvelously cheap, I really don't see how ever so much more money would at all materially add to our comforts or even luxuries. My father was in the Austrian service and retired upon a pension and his patrimony, and purchased this feudal residence and the small estate on which it stands. A bargain. Nothing can be more picturesque or solitary. It stands on a slight eminence in a forest. The road, very old and narrow, passes in front of its drawbridge, never raised in my time, and its moat, stocked with perch and sailed over by many swans, and floating on its surface white fleets of water lilies. Over all this, the Schloss shows its many-windowed front, its towers, and its Gothic chapel. The forest opens in an irregular and very picturesque glade before its gate, and at the right, a steep Gothic bridge carries the road over a stream that winds in deep shadow through the wood. I have said that this is a very lonely place. Judge whether I say truth. Looking from the hall door towards the road, the forest in which our castle stands extends 15 miles to the right and 12 to the left. The nearest inhabited village is about 7 of your English miles to the left. The nearest inhabited Schloss of any historic associations is that of old General Spielsdorf, nearly 20 miles away to the right. I have said the nearest inhabited village because there is only 3 miles westward, that is to say in the direction of General Spielsdorf's Schloss, a ruined village, with its quaint little church, now roofless, in the aisle of which are the mouldering tombs of the proud family of Karnstein, now extinct, who once owned the equally desolate chateau which, in the thick of the forest, overlooks the silent ruins of the town. Oh my goodness, Raid! Hi! Welcome in, Raiders! It's TransXPTTRPG!
Transcripted with 7 viewers.
Hello, hello! Welcome to Luna's List. I'm Luna. There's a list around here somewhere. I'm never gonna find it though because I have ADHD. I'm also a trans lesbian nerd girl variety streamer voice actress. And we're reading a story today. We're reading Carmilla, lesbian vampire story from the 1800s. How are you, Professor Ness? I'm doing lovely. Welcome in, Cat and Bones. Welcome in, Mitha. How are you both doing today? How was your stream? How'd it go? I hope you had a wonderful time. I gotta fix my Luna Eclipse real quick. Whoa! Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the follow.
Welcome in. We are totally normal here.
Ah, another follow. What the heckies? Look.
Welcome in.
We got cheese.
We are totally normal here.
Welcome in. We are totally normal here. Anybody who tells you otherwise is definitely lying to you. And I wouldn't lie to you because no one would lie to you on the internet. Don't think too hard about that, okay? Thank you for the follow, Rosina Rhapsody. And for the other follow as well, I do keep my follows anonymous unless you're actively chatting. So if you want to say hi, feel free. No pressure. Of course, keep doing what you're doing. And thank you. Let's see. Okay, I gotta fix my Luna Eclipse thing real quick. Hold on. The color changer changed it.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, I know. This is a raid. Put your hands where I can hold them. You had a great episode 5. Hell yeah.
Wow. Thank you for the incredible
Whoa.
support. Hi, Luna. Hi, you all. Hope the gayness is going well.
Hello. Thank you so much for the tier 2 resub for 15 heckin' months. What the heck?
Wow.
The gayness is going well. I did just start reading. We got a raid. Everybody please follow TransXPTTRPG. Wait, I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything. Well, I'm just gonna say, I'm Professor Ness in their campaign, and I was there in the first episode, and I might pop up in other upcoming episodes at some point. Thank you for the hydrate and stretch, Mitha. You should definitely go check them out. They're wonderful. And a stretch. Stretch. Ah, it's tickling my arm. I think it's pretty safe to say you're going to be in future episodes. Yeah. Oh, Heidi, you should say hi to the raiders and stuff. My wife is here.
Hi, Raiders! It's me, Luna's watching. I'm the bestest, because she said so.
We got cheese. Lena says, gotta lurk, but love the reading and hope y'all are doing well. Yes, we are. I'm excited to keep reading this. Okay, we finished 2 whole pages. I'm gonna get back to the reading. Okay. Oh, and this story is from the 1800s, so this is public domain. So if you want to follow along, you can just download the PDF by just Googling Carmilla PDF. Or you can look at it on the screen, but it might be kind of hard to read if your screen is small or because I'm a little bit in front of it sometimes. Anyway, where were we? Ah, yes. I've said the nearest inhabited village because there is only 3 miles westward, that is to say in the direction of General Spielsdorf Schloss. Do you all know what Schloss means, by the way?
No.
A Schloss is a mansion.
It
Yeah.
doesn't sound very pretty.
No, it doesn't. You're right. It's a good story. It is very, very good lesbian vampire story.
Spoilers.
Whatever. Okay. I've said the nearest inhabited village because there is only 3 miles westward. That is to say, in the direction of General Spielsdorf's Schloss, a ruined village with its quaint little church, now roofless, in the aisle of which are the moldering tombs of the proud family of Karnstein, now extinct, who once owned the equally desolate chateau which, in the thick of the forest, overlooks the silent ruins of the town. Respecting the cause of the desertion of this striking and melancholy spot, there is a legend which I shall relate to you another time. I must tell you now how very small is the party who constitute the inhabitants of our castle. I don't include servants or those dependents who occupy rooms in the buildings attached to the Schloss. That's such a hard word to say. Listen and wonder. My father, who is the kindest man on earth, but growing old, and I, at the date of my story, only 19. 8 years have passed since then. I and my father constituted the family at the Schloss. My mother, a Styrian lady, died in my infancy, but I had a good-natured governess who had been with me from, I might almost say, my infancy. I could not remember the time when her fat, benignant? I've not heard that word before. Face was not a familiar picture in my memory. This was Madame Peridon, a native of Bern, whose care and good nature now in part supplied to me the loss of my mother, whom I do not even remember, so early I lost her. She made a third at our little dinner party. There was a fourth, Mademoiselle de La Fontaine, a lady such as you term, I believe, a finishing governess. She spoke French and German, Madame Peridon's French and broken English, to which my father and I added English, which, partly to prevent its becoming a lost language among us, and partly from patriotic motives, we spoke every day. The consequence was a babble at which strangers used to laugh, and which I shall make no attempt to reproduce in this narrative. And there were 2 or 3 young lady friends besides, pretty nearly of my own age, who were occasional visitors, for longer or shorter terms, and these visits I sometimes returned. These were our regular social resources, but of course there were chance visits from neighbors of only 5 or 6 leagues distance. My life was, notwithstanding, rather a solitary one, I can assure you. My governance had just so much control over me as you might conjecture such sage persons would have in the case of a rather spoiled girl, whose only parent allowed her pretty nearly her own way in everything. Sorry, had to mute. Pyro says this story is actually interesting now. I gotta listen. Oh, we haven't gotten to the interesting part yet. Just you wait. This is a good story. The first occurrence in my existence which produced a terrible impression upon my mind, which, in fact, never has been effaced, was one of the very earliest incidents of my life which I can recollect. Some people will think it so trifling that it should not be recorded here. You will see, however, by and by, why I mention it. The nursery, as it was called, though I had it all to myself, was a large room in the upper story of the castle, with a steep oak roof. I can't have been more than 6 years old when one night I awoke, and looking around the room from my bed, failed... Yeah? Sorry, Heidi had a coughing fit. I had to mute for a second. No, it wasn't you, Happy. I muted because Heidi was coughing. She choked on her drink, I think.
It went down the wrong way.
Poor Heidi. Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. I can't have been more than 6 years old when one night I awoke and, looking around the room from my bed, failed to see the nursery maid. Neither was my nurse there, and I thought myself alone. I was not frightened, for I was one of those happy children who are studiously kept in ignorance of ghost stories or fairy tales, and of all such lore as makes us cover up our heads when the door cracks suddenly, or the flicker of an expiring candle makes the shadow of a bedpost dance upon the wall nearest to our faces. I was vexed and insulted at finding myself, as I conceived, neglected, and I began to whimper, preparatory to a hearty bout of roaring, when, to my surprise, I saw a solemn but very pretty face looking at me from the side of the bed. It was that of a young lady who was kneeling, with her hands under the coverlet. I looked at her with a kind of pleased wonder and ceased whimpering. She caressed me with her hands and lay down beside me on the bed and drew me towards her. Smiling, I felt immediately delightfully soothed and fell asleep again. I was awakened by a sensation as if 2 needles ran into my breast, very deep at the same moment, and I cried loudly. The lady started back with her eyes fixed on me, and then slipped down upon the floor and, as I thought, hid herself under the bed. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, Heidi had to cough again. I was now for the first time frightened, and I yelled with all my might and main. Nurse, nursery maid, housekeeper, all came running in, and hearing my story, they made light of it, soothing me all they could meanwhile. But, child as I was, I could perceive that their faces were pale with an unwonted look of anxiety, and I saw them look under the bed and about the room, and peep under the tables and pluck open cupboards, and the housekeeper whispered to the nurse, "Lay your hand along that hollow in the bed. Someone did lie there, so sure as you did not. The place is still warm." I remember the nursery maid petting me, and all 3 examining my chest, where I told them I felt the puncture, and pronouncing that there was no visible sign that any such thing had happened to me. The housekeeper and the 2 other servants who were in charge of the nursery remained sitting up all night, and from that time, a servant always sat up in the nursery until I was about 14. I was very nervous for a long time after this. A doctor was called in. He was pallid and elderly. How well I remember his long, saturnine face, slightly pitted with smallpox, and his chestnut wig. For a good while, every second day, he came and gave me medicine, which of course I hated. The morning after I saw this apparition, I was in a state of terror and could not bear to be left alone, daylight though it was, for a moment. I remember my father coming up and standing at the bedside and talking cheerfully and asking the nurse a number of questions, laughing very heartily at one of the answers and patting me on the shoulder and kissing me and telling me not to be frightened, that it was nothing but a dream and could not hurt me. But I was not comforted, for I knew the visit of the strange woman was not a dream, and I was awfully frightened. I was a little consoled by the nursery maids assuring me that it was she who had come and looked at me and lain down beside me in the bed, and that I must have been half dreaming not to have known her face. But this, though supported by the nurse, did not quite satisfy me. I remembered, in the course of that day, a venerable old man in a black cassock coming into the room with the nurse and housekeeper and talking a little to them, and very kindly to me. His face was very sweet and gentle, and he told me they were going to pray, and joined my hands together, and desired me to say softly while they were praying, "Lord, hear all good prayers for us, for Jesus' sake." I think these were the very words, for I often repeated them to myself, and my nurse used for years to make me say them in my prayers. I remembered so well the thoughtful, sweet face of that white-haired old man in his black cassock as he stood in that rude, lofty brown room with the clumsy furniture of a fashion 300 years old about him, and the scanty light entering its shadowy atmosphere through the small lattice. He kneeled, and the 3 women with him, and he prayed aloud with an earnest, quavering voice for what appeared to me a long time. I forget all my life preceding that event, and for some time after it is all obscure also, but the scenes I have just described stand out vivid as the isolated pictures of the phantasmagoria surrounded by darkness. End of chapter 1. Now Heidi's gonna yap for a bit so I can rest my voice.
I need to cough first.
Oh, okay.
Mute.
Do you need a cough drop?
Yeah, I need cough drop. Did you see the cute kitty?
No.
Right there.
Aw, precious baby.
Yeah, they like your story.
Yeah.
So, I know I really like the story, but I've been really distracted with needing to cough.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of missed when the mysterious lady showed up. She just showed up?
Yep, you didn't miss anything. She just appeared.
Oh. Okay.
Yep, she was just... So the girl was sleeping in her nursery, and she woke up, and there was a mysterious lady standing there. And then she fell back asleep, and then woke up to being bitten, basically.
Yeah, she said, like, the lady brought her in and hugged her and soothed her. I remember that. Like, she was comforting.
Mm-hmm.
And then she woke up to being stabbed.
Yep.
And the housekeeper was like, "The bed's still warm. She wasn't dreaming."
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't very responsible for them to say that in front of her.
Yeah, I think they were whispering it, but she overheard them.
Yeah.
Hi, Dead Son. Welcome in. Alright, I think I'm good to keep going.
I'm really excited for the next sentence.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you were lurking? Thank you for lurking. Go check out Dead Sun Prime, everybody. Spooky reading. Yeah, for Friday the 13th, and it's the day before Valentine's Day, so it's perfect for a lesbian vampire quote-unquote love story. It's kind of a love story in a roundabout way. You'll see. You'll see. It's not spoilers. It's fine.
This is the yummy cough drop.
Yeah, they're delicious. I
Which
love them.
sounds weird. It's caramel.
It's really good.
Oh my gosh, look at the cat in the picture. Like
I know.
He's on his back.
Yeah, the kitty's laying on his back. It's so cute.
He really likes your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 2. A Guest. I am now going to tell you something so strange that it will require all your faith in my veracity to believe my story. It is not only true, nevertheless, but truth of which I have been an eyewitness. It was a sweet summer evening, and my father asked me, as he sometimes did, to take a little ramble with him along that beautiful forest vista, which I have mentioned as lying in front of the Schloss.
General Spielsdorf cannot come to us so soon as I had hoped,
said my father as we pursued our walk. He was to have paid us a visit of some weeks, and we had expected his arrival next day. He was to have brought with him a young lady, his niece and ward, Mademoiselle Reinfeldt, whom I had never seen, but whom I had heard described as a very charming girl, and in whose society I had promised myself many happy days. I was more disappointed than a young lady living in a town or a bustling neighborhood can possibly imagine. This visit and the new acquaintance it promised had furnished my daydream for many weeks. "And how soon does he come?" I asked.
Not until autumn. Not for 2 months, I dare say,
he answered.
And I'm very glad now, dear, that you never knew Mademoiselle Reinfeldt.
And why? I asked, both mortified and curious.
Because the poor young lady is dead,
he replied.
I quite forgot I had not told you, but you were not in the room when I received the General's letter this evening.
I was very much shocked. General Spielsdorf had mentioned in his first letter, 6 or 7 weeks before, that she was not so well. Oh. Where's my cursor? That she was not so well as he would wish her, but there was nothing to suggest the remotest suspicion of danger.
Here's the General's letter,
he said, handing it to me.
I'm afraid he is in great affliction. The letter appears to me to have been written very nearly in distraction.
We sat down on a rude bench under a group of magnificent lime trees. The sun was setting with all its melancholy splendor behind the sylvan horizon, and the stream that flows beside our home and passes under the steep old bridge I have mentioned wound through many a group of noble trees almost at our feet, reflecting in its current the fading crimson of the sky. General Spielsdorf's letter was so extraordinary, so vehement, and in some places so self-contradictory that I read it twice over, the second time aloud to my father, and was still unable to account for it, except by supposing that grief had unsettled his mind. It said, "I have lost my darling daughter, for as such I loved her. During the last days of dear Bertha's illness, I was not able to write to you. Before then, I had no idea of her danger. I have lost her, and now learn all too late. She died in the peace of innocence, and in the glorious hope of a blessed futurity. The fiend who betrayed our infatuated hospitality has done it all. I thought I was receiving into my house innocence, gaiety, a charming companion for my lost Bertha. Heavens, what a fool I have been." I should be reading this in that character's voice, actually.
But we got out loud.
Oh, I guess, yeah, she's reading it out loud. Hold on, I need some chapstick. 1 second. Hi, Mara. Hi, Anne. Thank you for the 3-stream streak. Yeah, I had a feeling someone was going to mention the 6 or 7 there. Thanks, Cookie. Yeah, it's spooky time.
I'm glad I didn't think of it. It's starting to leave my brain.
Yup. I thank God my child died without a suspicion of the cause of her sufferings. She is gone without so much as conjecturing the nature of her illness and the accursed passion of the agent of all this misery. I devote my remaining days to tracking and extinguishing a monster. I am told I may hope to accomplish my righteous and merciful purpose. At present, there is scarcely a gleam of light to guide me. I curse my conceited incredulity, my despicable affectation of superiority, my blindness, my obstinacy, all too late. I cannot write or talk collectedly now. I am distracted. So soon as I shall have a little recovered, I mean to devote myself for a time to inquiry, which may possibly lead me as far as Vienna. Sometime in the autumn, 2 months hence, or earlier if I live, I will see you. That is, if you permit me. I will then tell you all that I scarce dare put upon paper now. Farewell. Pray for me, dear friend. In these terms ended this strange letter. Though I had never seen Bertha Reinfeldt, my eyes filled with tears at the sudden intelligence. I was startled as well as profoundly disappointed. The sun had... Bimo? Sorry, cat's being difficult. You cutie. He's fine now. The sun had now set, and it was twilight by the time I had returned the general's letter to my father. It was a soft, clear evening, and we loitered, speculating upon the possible meanings of the violent and incoherent sentences which I had just been reading. We had nearly a mile to walk before reaching the road that passes the Schloss in front, and by that time the moon was shining brilliantly. At the drawbridge we met Madame Perrodon and Mademoiselle de La Fontaine, who had come out without their bonnets to enjoy the exquisite moonlight. We heard their voices gabbling in animated dialogue as we approached. We joined them at the drawbridge and turned about to admire with them the beautiful scene. The glade through which we had just walked lay before us. At our left, the narrow road wound away under clumps of lordly trees and was lost to sight amid the thickening forest. At the right, the same road crosses the steep and picturesque bridge, near which stands a ruined tower which once guarded that pass. And beyond the bridge, an abrupt eminence rises, covered with trees, and showing in the shadows some gray ivy-clustered rocks. Over the sward and low grounds, a thin film of mist was stealing like smoke, marking the distances with a transparent veil, and here and there we could see the river faintly flashing in the moonlight. No softer, sweeter scene could be imagined. The news I had heard made it melancholy, but nothing could disturb its character or profound serenity, and the enchanted glory and vagueness of the prospect. My father, who enjoyed the picturesque, and I, stood looking in silence over the expanse beneath us. The two good governesses, standing a little way behind us, discoursed upon the scene and were eloquent upon the moon. Madame Perrodon was fat, middle-aged, and romantic, and talked and sighed poetically. Mademoiselle de La Fontaine, in right of her father, who was a German, assumed to be psychological, metaphysical, and something of a mystic, now declared that when the moon shone with a light so intense it was well known that it indicated a special spiritual activity. The effect of the full moon in such a state of brilliancy was manifold. It acted on dreams, it acted on lunacy, it acted on nervous people, it had marvelous physical influences connected with life. Mademoiselle related that her cousin, who was mate of a merchant ship, having taken a nap on deck on such a night, lying on his back with his face full in the light of the moon, had wakened after a dream of an old woman clawing him by the cheek, with his features horribly drawn to one side, and his countenance had never quite recovered its equilibrium. "The moon this night," she said, "is full of idyllic and magnetic influence. And see, when you look behind you at the front of the Schloss, how all its windows flash and twinkle with that silvery splendor, as if unseen hands had lighted up the rooms to receive fairy guests. There are indolent styles of the spirits in which, indisposed to talk to ourselves, the talk of others is pleasant to our listless ears, and I gazed on, pleased with the tinkle of the ladies' conversation.
"I've got into one of my moping moods tonight,"
said my father, after a silence, and quoting Shakespeare, whom, by way of keeping up our English, he used to read aloud, he said,
"In truth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I got it came by it. I forget the rest, but I feel as if some great misfortune were hanging over us. I suppose the poor General's afflicted letter has had something to do with it."
At this moment, the unwonted sound of carriage wheels and many hoofs upon the road arrested our attention. They seemed to be approaching from the high ground overlooking the bridge, and very soon the equipage emerged from that point. 2 horsemen first crossed the bridge, then came a carriage drawn by 4 horses, and 2 men rode behind. It seemed to be the traveling carriage of a person of rank, and we were all immediately absorbed in watching that very unusual spectacle. It became, in a few moments, greatly more interesting, for just as the carriage had passed the summit of the steep bridge, one of the leaders, taking fright, communicated his panic to the rest, and after a plunge or two, the whole team broke into a wild gallop together, and dashing between the horsemen who rode in front, came thundering along the road towards us with the speed of a hurricane. The excitement of the scene was made more painful by the clear, long-drawn screams of a female voice from the carriage window. We all advanced in curiosity and horror, me rather in silence, the rest with various ejaculations of terror. I have to pause for just a second there. I have not heard that word used in that context ever before. Excuse me? Yeah, you can do your magic, Happy.
Oh my glob, she's turning the frickin' frogs gay.
Oh, I have lots of things to say about that, but today's Luna's day, so yeah.
Okay. Oh, double frogs again. I don't know why everything is doubling up like that. Weird.
Luna.
I don't know why the water effect didn't work either. What's up, Heidi?
This is a lot of reading. Do you want me to help so you can have a cough drop?
No, I mean, I'll pause at the chapter to have a cough drop. Why'd the rain effect not go? Why is everything not working right today? That's weird.
You mean at the chapter you'll have me read?
No, I mean at the chapter I'm gonna have you talk to chat while I have a cough drop.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you for the bonus hydrate cookie. Oh, you didn't want to do it while I read? That's okay, Happy.
Very considerate.
Mm-hmm. Make sure your voice is all right. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Help? I mean, it won't be as good, but
I really don't think I need help. I'm having a good time. If I need a break, I'll take a break.
if it were me, I would be like, I can't talk.
I mean, this isn't more talking than I usually do. When I'm doing a normal stream, I don't stop talking for the whole stream. Like,
This is a little more intense.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Heidi in the background is cute. I know. I miss having Heidi in the background. She's so cute.
I used to. I mean, thank you.
Mm.
I used to have my desk in here,
Mm-hmm.
and you could hear me cackle.
Yeah. Luna. Yeah, Mara? What's up? You're haunted? I'm haunted?
I think your electronics might be haunted.
My electronics might be haunted, yeah.
Not you.
What makes you say I'm haunted, Mara? Thank you for the hydrate, Happy. That's because you are. Mara says my Luna cat is hissing and growling at the page on your screen. Oh. Luna the cat doesn't like Carmilla. I mean, animals can tell when someone's a vampire, so she's probably hissing at the vampire book.
There's a lot about moon stuff on that page too, isn't
there? There is, yeah.
I realized lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
Luna stuff is probably from the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that before.
Yeah, I think the origin of lunatic is something about people being driven crazy by the moon, or like that's what they thought.
Yeah. Look at this sweet kitty.
Very sweet kitty. Okay, continuing. Thank you for the power of happy. I don't know why all of my redeems are broken. I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point. It's fine. Also, Heidi, try to move not very much in that chair because it makes that loud popping noise.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
That's why I stopped using that chair. I mean, and also because it's less comfortable.
Yeah, I'm even shorter than you, but I've got a stool thingy.
Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Oh, I lost my spot.
It's hard not to move.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 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 What? The excitement of the scene was made more painful by the clear, long-drawn screams of a female voice from the carriage window. We all advanced in curiosity and horror, me rather in silence, the rest with various ejaculations of terror. Our suspense did not last long. Just before you reached the castle drawbridge on the roof...
Moonbeam said, nom nom.
Nom nom. Our suspense did not last long. Just before you reach the castle drawbridge, on the route they were coming, there stands by the road a magnificent lime tree. On the other stands an ancient stone cross, at sight of which the horses, now going at a pace that was perfectly frightful, swerved so as to bring the wheel over the projecting roots of the tree. I knew what was coming. I covered my eyes, unable to see it out, and turned my head away. At the same moment, I heard a cry from my lady friends who had gone on a little. Curiosity opened my eyes, and I saw a scene of utter confusion. 2 of the horses were on the ground. The carriage lay upon its side with 2 wheels in the air. The men were busy removing the traces, and a lady with a commanding air and figure had got out and stood with clasped hands, raising the handkerchief that was in them every now and then to her eyes. Through the carriage door was now lifted a young lady who appeared to be lifeless. My dear old father was already beside the elder lady, with his hat in his hand, evidently tendering his aid and the resources of his Schloss. The lady did not appear to hear him, or to have eyes for anything but the slender girl who was being placed against the slope of the bank. I approached. The young lady was apparently stunned, but she was certainly not dead. My father, who piqued himself on being something of a physician, had just had his fingers on her wrist and assured the lady, who declared herself her mother, that her pulse, though faint and irregular, was undoubtedly still distinguishable. The lady clasped her hands and looked upward as if in a momentary transport of gratitude. But immediately she broke out again in that theatrical way which is, I believe, natural to some people. She was what is called a fine-looking woman for her time of life, and must have been handsome. She was tall but not thin, and dressed in black velvet, and looked rather pale, but with a proud and commanding countenance, though now agitated strangely. "Who was ever being so born to calamity?" I heard her say, with clasped hands as I came up. Here I am on a journey of life and death, in prosecuting which to lose an hour is possibly to lose all. My child will not have recovered sufficiently to resume her route for who can say how long? I must leave her. I cannot, dare not delay. How far on, sir, can you tell, is the nearest village? I must leave her there, and shall not see my darling or even hear of her till my return 3 months hence. I plucked my father by the coat and whispered earnestly in his ear, "Oh, Papa, pray, ask her to let her stay with us. It would be so delightful. Do, pray."
If Madam will entrust her child to the care of my daughter and of her good governante, Madam Peridone, and permit her to remain as our guest under my charge until her return, it will confer a distinction and an obligation upon us, and we shall treat her with all the care and devotion which so sacred a trust deserves.
I cannot do that, good sir. It would be to task your kindness and chivalry too cruelly, said the lady distractedly.
It would, on the contrary, be to confer on us a very great kindness at the moment when we most need it. My daughter has just been disappointed by a cruel misfortune in a visit from which she had long anticipated a great deal of happiness. If you confide this young lady to our care, it will be her best consolation. The nearest village on your route is distant and affords no such inn as you could think of placing your daughter at. You cannot allow her to continue her journey for any considerable distance without danger. If, as you say, you cannot suspend your journey, you must part with her tonight, and nowhere could you do so with more honest assurances of care and tenderness than here.
There was something in this lady's air and appearance so distinguished and even imposing, in her manner so engaging, as to impress one, quite apart from the dignity of her equipage, with a conviction that she was a person of consequence. By this time the carriage was replaced in its upright position, and the horses, quite tractable, in the traces again. The lady threw on her daughter a glance which I fancied was not quite so affectionate as one might have anticipated from the beginning of the scene. Then she beckoned slightly to my father, and withdrew 2 or 3 steps with him out of hearing, and talked to him with a fixed and stern countenance, not at all like that with which she had hitherto spoken. I was filled with wonder that my father did not seem to perceive the change, and also unspeakably curious to learn what it could be that she was speaking almost in his ear, with so much earnestness and rapidity. 2 or 3 minutes at most, I think, she remained thus employed. Then she turned, and a few steps brought her to where her daughter lay. Supported by Madame Peridone, she kneeled beside her for a moment and whispered, as Madame supposed, a little benediction in her ear. Then, hastily kissing her, she stepped into her carriage. The door was closed. The footmen in stately liveries jumped up behind. The outriders spurred on. The postilions cracked their whips. The horses plunged and broke suddenly into a furious canter that threatened soon again to become a gallop, and the carriage whirled away, followed at the same rapid pace by the 2 horsemen in the rear.
Whoa.
All right. Any thoughts so far? Chat and Heidi, talk about what's going on. What do you think's happening?
Okay, so that time I didn't read along, I just listened.
Yeah.
Which is good because I put lots of lotion on because my hands are dry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't quite remember where this accident happened. It must be close to their house.
Just outside their schloss.
Their schloss?
Mm-hmm. On the road that goes in front of their house.
Oh. And it seems, in the back of my head, I am like, is this a setup? I don't know. And also, he went on and on about how safe she'll be. And you know, we already know that there's vampires, so.
I mean, you would have to be pretty safe. I mean, like.
I think it's foreshadowing. And it wasn't safe.
Oh.
But you already know what happens, but no spoilers.
So, So that's the narrator girl. That's her dad that was saying it would be safe for the girl that got hurt in the carriage to stay with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and I know that he thinks it's safe, and I'm just saying, I wonder if it's not.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm confused by the mom.
The mom. The mom of the daughter that's hurt.
Yeah.
What are you confused about?
Well, I just mean her character, she's like all confused and crying, and then she's like bitchy.
That was pretty weird.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need more of a break?
A little bit.
Let me think. Did chat say anything?
Nope, chat didn't say anything.
Chat? I don't know what else. I don't know how else to analyze this.
What do you think of the soundtrack I picked?
Oh, it fits really well.
Actually, Lena's helped me with that. I need to credit Lena's.
Oh.
She hooked me up with a playlist, and she even picked out some specific songs for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it worked really well. And it's oh, the kitty's dreaming. Look in the.
Aww.
That's a dream, right? And not like a seizure.
Yeah.
I think the kitty's dreaming.
Cookie says IDK what else to say. What to say. That's okay. Yeah, we're only 2 chapters in, really. That's okay that there's not that much to say yet.
I'm just trying to talk so you can have a cough drop. I'm thinking about the kitty, and if an outdoor kitty can sleep so soundly that they're like dreaming and twitching, they must feel pretty safe.
Yeah, we keep those kitties safe.
Yeah.
Cookie says this story's low-key giving off vibes of my college vampires and French literature course. Except you're not in college. Well, yeah, not anymore. And this isn't French. That's true. Well, there is some French stuff mentioned.
Is that a real course? Vampires in French literature?
Oh, I believe... I don't know what nationality the author of the story is, but the story takes place in Austria.
Yeah, it reminded Cookie of that course, and I can't believe that's even a real course.
Yeah, I can believe it. There's all kinds of courses.
I took a Brothers Grimm course, and it was if you read it in German, you got an extra credit. Yeah.
Cookie says it does feel European. Actually, Cookie, this is gay and European. Like the song. Okay, I think I'm good to keep it.
You were doing okay.
Yeah, it's a song bit. Cookie probably gets it.
When is your next break?
Next ad break?
Yeah.
We just had one, so like 45 minutes. Why?
I can hold it because I don't want to miss a single second.
Oh. If you gotta go pee, I can yap for a bit while I finish my cough drop.
Okay.
Hi, Ivy. Welcome in. How are you? Good to see you. Go follow Ivy, everybody. What you up to? I'm reading a lesbian vampire story for Friday the 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Perfect time to read this story. It's also part of the subathon rewards that y'all earned from the subathon forever ago. Actually, I should talk about the subathon rewards real quick, because I'm still working on those. And lesbians, yeah. Lesbian vampire story from 1870 something. It's very cool. Actually, this story predates Dracula. This story, Carmilla, is what inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is crazy to me. Yeah. 1870s inspired Bram Stoker. We would not have Dracula without Carmilla. Let's see. Where did I post that? Okay. So, stuff from the subathon. Here's what we've done so far. We had our Discord movie night where we enjoyed Epic the Musical together. That was forever ago. I got to take a week off, which was also forever ago. So that's where the name Carmilla came from. Yep. Carmilla was made 50 years before Dracula. Yep. Carmilla is very cool. It's also very, very lesbian. Luna plays through FNAF 2. We did that. Purchasing a new iPhone or a used iPhone for better tracking. I did that. Hollow Knight Steel Soul playthrough, thanks to Mara. That was completed. Purchasing a shock collar for some fun integrations and You Laugh You Lose streams. I did purchase it. I haven't set it up yet, though. I need to do that. As for stuff in progress, we've got the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough from Happy, and Luna reads Carmilla, which we're doing right now. Some other stuff that I need to get around to is creating 5 new free sounds decided by you all, much like the pirate sound where you can just type a word and it plays a sound effect for free, no points or anything. I need to do a global viewer magic that you all will vote on.
Mustard on the beat, ho.
Or, yeah, like mustard. That works too. I need to play FNAF 3 with Carmen. I need to do a Library of Ruina playthrough, thanks to Elaine, but that'll be in the summer because she needs earlier streams because of time zones. I need to finish the Pizza Party emote live on stream, which I'm... Actually, that one should be in progress because I'm learning pixel art on stream. I have to do a Pokemon Nuzlocke, which I've never done. I'm probably going to do Pokemon Emerald, and that redeem is thanks to Happy. I'm going to do a Cult of the Lamb playthrough thanks to Mara. I'm going to do a Knowledge or No Lady playthrough thanks to Cookie. And we're going to have 5 community board game nights eventually. You want to hear the narrator say mustard? It's random which one it does, Cookie. So if you keep doing it, you'll...
Mustard on the
There it
beat,
goes.
ho.
It's been stuck in your head lately. That's great. I love that. Heidi's back.
Can I have a cough drop, please?
Yeah, which kind? The same one?
Horrible.
Okay. We might need more of these because they're running low.
They're too good. I actually
They're really
need
good.
It, but also it's candy.
Yeah.
We got
Like those cherry
look,
ones are
we got
good.
cheese.
Weebles, hi! You're totally definitely first. Thank you for giving me your daily cheese. You got here just on a break so I can actually say hi. Boo! Oh, Heidi's here too.
Hi, Weebles. Weebles! Happy Valentine's Day Eve. Weebles!
Yeah, and happy Friday the 13th, which is the perfect combination day before Valentine's Day and Friday the 13th. Perfect combination for Carmilla, lesbian vampire story that predated Dracula and inspired Dracula. Okay. Actually, you want... Weebles, you doing anything fun this weekend? You got anything exciting? Oh, Heidi and I are going to be watching Bridgerton this weekend finally, so I'm going to be able to yap about it with you.
Did Weebles watch it already?
I don't know. I know she watched at least one episode.
I can't read that from here.
Weeble says we saw some girls doing Galentine's Day, and it was very sweet.
Ah. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna do a Bridgerton party, but it's just me and Luna and my mom, and we're gonna dress up in fancy gowns, and we have masquerade masks and feather fans, and we're gonna have macarons, or however you say it. I know Weebles knows how to say it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it because it's a very pretty gown that I've had for like literally 2 years and I've had nowhere to wear it to. Weeble says Hub and I are going to a crab place on Sunday to celebrate graduation. Hell yeah! You don't do Valentine's Day. You were initially going to go tomorrow, but then you pushed it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's going to be busy, that place on Valentine's Day, probably. That sounds fucking delightful. I know, it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. So we're going to binge all 4 episodes that are out. I'm going to have so much fun. Okay, we're going to continue with the book now. Chapter 3. Heidi said macarons correctly. Wait, did I say it the same way you just did? Macaron.
I don't know.
Chapter 3. We compare notes. We followed the cortege. What is that word? Is it
Where?
right there?
Ask Cookie. It looks French.
That's I think that's just carriage
Cortigi.
in a different language. Weeble says I just popped in before bed. Night night. Good night, Weebles.
Night night. Mwah.
Mwah.
Cortege.
Chapter 3. We compare notes. We followed the cortege with our eyes until it was swiftly lost to sight in the misty wood, and the very sound of the hoofs and the wheels died away in the silent night air. Nothing remained to assure us that the adventure had not been an illusion of a moment, but the young lady, who just at that moment opened her eyes. I could not see, for her face was turned from me, but she raised her head, evidently looking about her, and I heard a very sweet voice ask complainingly, "Where's Mama?" Our good Madame Peridone answered tenderly and added some comfortable assurances. I then heard her ask, "Where am I? What is this place?" And after that she said, "I don't see the carriage. And Matska, where is she?" Madame answered all her questions insofar as she understood them, and gradually the young lady remembered how the misadventure came about, and was glad to hear that no one in or in attendance on the carriage was hurt, and on learning that her mamma had left her here, till her return in about 3 months, she wept. I was going to add my consolations to those of Madame Peridone when Mademoiselle de la Fontaine placed her hand upon my arm, saying, "Don't approach. One at a time is as much as she can at present converse with. A very little excitement could possibly overpower her now." As soon as she is comfortably in bed, I thought, I will run up to her room and see her. My father, in the meantime, had sent a servant on horseback for the physician, who lived about 2 leagues away, and a bedroom was being prepared for the young lady's reception. The stranger now rose, and leaning on Madame's arm, walked slowly over the drawbridge and into the castle gate. In the hall, servants waited to receive her, and she was conducted forthwith to her room. The room we usually sat in as our drawing room is long, having 4 windows that looked over the moat and drawbridge, upon the forest scene I have just described. It is furnished in old carved oak with large carved cabinets, and the chairs are cushioned with crimson Utrecht velvet. The walls are covered with tapestry and surrounded with great gold frames, the figures being as large as life, in ancient and very curious costume, and the subjects represented are hunting, hawking, and generally festive. It is not too stately to be extremely comfortable, and here we had our tea, for with his usual patriotic leanings, he insisted that the national beverage should make its appearance regularly with our coffee and chocolate. We sat here this night, and with candles lighted, were talking over the adventure of the evening. Madame Peridone and Mademoiselle de la Fontaine were both of our party. The young stranger had hardly lain down in her bed when she sank into a deep sleep, and those ladies had left her in the care of a servant. "How do you like our guest?" I asked as soon as Madame entered. "Tell me all about her." "I like her extremely," answered Madame. "She is, I almost think, the prettiest creature I ever saw, about your age and so gentle and nice." Wait, I think I confused characters there. That's okay. "She is absolutely beautiful," threw in Mademoiselle, who had peeped for a moment into the stranger's room. "And such a sweet voice," added Madame Peridone. "Did you remark a woman in the carriage after it was set up again, who did not get out?" inquired Mademoiselle, "but only looked up from the window." "No, we had not seen her." Then she described a hideous black woman with a sort of colored turban on her head, and who was gazing all the time from the carriage window, nodding and grinning derisively toward the ladies with gleaming eyes and large white eyeballs, and her teeth set as if in fury. "Did you remark what an ill-looking pack of men the servants were?" asked Madame. Yes,
Yes,
said my father, who had just come in.
ugly, hangdog-looking fellows as I beheld in my life. I hope they mayn't rob the poor lady in the forest. They are clever rogues, however. They got everything to rights in a minute.
"I dare say they are worn out with too long traveling," said Madame. Wait, who's talking here?
I don't know.
Besides looking wicked, their faces were so strangely lean and dark and sullen. I am very curious, I own, but I dare say the young lady will tell you all about it tomorrow, if she's sufficiently recovered.
I don't think she will,
said my father with a mysterious smile and a little nod of his head, as if he knew more about it than he cared to tell us. This made us all the more inquisitive as to what had passed between him and the lady in the black velvet. In the brief but earnest interview that had immediately preceded her departure, we were scarcely alone when I entreated him to tell me. He did not need much pressing.
There's no particular reason why I should not tell you. She expressed a reluctance to trouble us with the care of her daughter, saying she was in delicate health and nervous, but not subject to any kind of seizure. She volunteered that, nor to any illusion, being in fact perfectly sane.
How very odd to say all that, I interpolated. It was so unnecessary.
At all events, it was said,
he laughed.
And as you wish to know all that passed, which was indeed very little, I tell you, she then said, I am making a long journey of vital importance. She emphasized the word rapid and secret. I shall return for my child in 3 months. In the meantime, she will be silent as to who we are, whence we come, and whither we are traveling. That is all she said. She spoke very pure French. When she said the word secret, she paused for a few seconds, looking sternly, her eyes fixed on mine. I fancy she makes a great point of that. You saw how quickly she was gone. I hope I have not done a very foolish thing in taking charge of the young lady.
For my part, I was delighted. I was longing to see and talk to her, and only waiting till the doctor should give me leave. You, who live in towns, can have no idea how great an event the introduction of a new friend is, in such a solitude as surrounded us. The doctor did not arrive till nearly 1 o'clock, but I could no more have gone to my bed and slept than I could have overtaken on foot the carriage in which the princess in black velvet had driven away. When the physician came down to the drawing room, it was to report very favorably upon his patient. She was now sitting up, her pulse quite regular, apparently perfectly well. She had sustained no injury, and the little shock to her nerves had passed away quite harmlessly. There could be no harm, certainly, in my seeing her, if we both wished it, and, with this permission, I sent forthwith to know whether she would allow me to visit her for a few minutes in her room. The servant returned immediately to say that she desired nothing more. You may be sure I was not long in availing myself of this permission. Our visitor lay in one of the handsomest rooms in the Schloss. It was, perhaps, a little stately. There was a somber piece of tapestry opposite the foot of the bed, representing Cleopatra with the asps to her bosom.
What's that mean?
Snakes by her boobs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for translating.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I forgot how old our character is, our main character.
19.
19.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. But she's narrating this 8 years later. So 27 in the narration, but the tale she's telling us she's 19.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where was I? Our visitor... I bit my tongue.
Bosom.
Our visitor lay in one of the handsomest rooms in the Schloss. It was, perhaps, a little stately. There was a somber piece of tapestry opposite the foot of the bed, representing Cleopatra with the asps to her bosom, and other solemn classic scenes were displayed, a little faded, upon the other walls, but there was a gold carving and rich and varied color enough in the other decorations of the room to more than redeem the gloom of the old tapestry. There were candles at the bedside. She was sitting up, her slender, pretty figure enveloped in the soft silk dressing gown, embroidered with flowers and lined with thick, quilted silk, which her mother had thrown over her feet as she lay upon the ground. What was it that, as I reached the bedside and had just begun my little greeting, struck me dumb in a moment and made me recoil a step or two from before her? I will tell you, I saw the very face which had visited me in my childhood at night, which remained so fixed in my memory, and on which I had for so many years so often ruminated with horror, when no one suspected of what I was thinking. It was pretty, even beautiful, and when I first beheld it, wore the same melancholy expression. But this almost instantly lighted into a strange, fixed smile of recognition. There was a silence of fully a minute, and then at length she spoke. I could not. "How wonderful," she exclaimed. "12 years ago, I saw your face in a dream, and it has haunted me ever since." "Wonderful indeed," I repeated, overcoming with an effort the horror that had for a time suspended my utterances. 12 years ago, in vision or reality, I certainly saw you. I could not forget your face. It has remained before my eyes ever since." Her smile had softened. Whatever I had fancied strange in it was gone, and it and her dimpling cheeks were now delightfully pretty and intelligent. I felt reassured and continued more in the vein which hospitality indicated to bid her welcome, and to tell her how much pleasure her accidental arrival had given us all, and especially what a happiness it was to me. I took her hand as I spoke. I was a little shy, as lonely people are, but the situation made me eloquent and even bold. She pressed my hand, she laid hers upon it, and her eyes glowed as, looking hastily into mine, she smiled again and blushed. She answered my welcome very prettily. I sat down beside her, still wondering, and she said, "I must tell you my vision about you. It is so very strange that you and I should have had, each of the other, so vivid a dream, that each would have seen, I you and you me, looking as we do now. And of course we were both mere children. I was a child about 6 years old, and I awoke from a confused and troubled dream, and found myself in a room unlike my nursery, wainscoted clumsily in some dark wood, and with cupboards and bedsteads and chairs and benches placed about it. The beds were, I thought, all empty, and the room itself without anyone but myself in it. And I, after looking about for some time, and admiring especially an iron candlestick with 2 branches, which I should certainly know again, crept under one of the beds to reach the window. But as I got from under the bed, I heard someone crying, and looked up. While I was still upon my knees, I saw you. Most assuredly you, as I see you now, a beautiful young lady, with golden hair, and large blue eyes, and lips, your lips, you, as you are here."
Panic. Sorry.
"Your looks won me. I climbed on the bed and put my arms about you, and I think we both fell asleep. I was aroused by a scream. You were sitting up screaming. I was frightened and slipped down upon the ground, and, it seemed to me, lost consciousness for a moment, and when I came to myself, I was again in my nursery at home. Your face I have never forgotten since. I could not be misled by mere resemblance. You are the lady whom I saw then. It was now my turn to relate my corresponding vision, which I did, to the undisguised wonder of my new acquaintance. I don't know which should be most afraid of the other, she said, again smiling. If you were less pretty, I think I should be very much afraid of you. But being as you are, and you and I both so young, I feel only that I have made your acquaintance 12 years ago, and have already a right to your intimacy. At all events, it does seem as if we were destined from our earliest childhood to be friends. I wonder whether you feel as strangely drawn towards me as I do to you. I have never had a friend. Shall I find one now? She sighed, and her fine dark eyes gazed passionately on me. Now, the truth is, I felt rather unaccountably towards the beautiful stranger. I did feel, as she said, drawn towards her. There was also something of repulsion. In this ambiguous feeling, however, the sense of attraction immensely prevailed. She interested and won me. She was so beautiful and so indescribably engaging. I perceived now something of languor and exhaustion stealing over her, and hastened to bid her good night. The doctor thinks, I added, that you ought to have a maid sit up with you tonight. One of ours is waiting, and you will find her a very useful and quiet creature. How kind of you, but I could not sleep. I never could with an attendant in the room. I shan't require any assistance, and, shall I confess my weakness, I am haunted with the terror of robbers. Our house was robbed once, and 2 servants murdered. So I always lock my door. It has become a habit, and you look so kind, I know you will forgive me. I see there is a key in the lock. She held me close in her pretty arms for a moment and whispered in my ear, Good night, darling. It is very hard to part with you, but good night. Tomorrow, but not early, I shall see you again. She sank back on the pillow with a sigh, and her fine eyes followed me with a fond and melancholy gaze, and she murmured again,
Look, we got cheese.
Good night, dear friend. Young people like and even love on impulse. I was flattered by the evident, though as yet undeserved fondness she showed me. I liked the confidence with which she at once received me. She was determined that we would be very near friends. Next day came, and we met again. I was delighted with my companion. That is to say, in many respects. Her looks lost nothing in daylight. She was certainly the most beautiful creature I had ever seen, and the unpleasant remembrance of the face presented in my early dream had lost the effect of the first unexpected recognition. She confessed that she had experienced a similar shock on seeing me, and precisely the same faint antipathy that had mingled with my admiration of her. We now laughed together over our momentary horrors. Hi, Carmen! Hi, Carmen! Welcome in, Carmen! Blah! Thank you for claiming your daily cheese. 222 cheeses! Carmen says, I enter the room, scream, gently move some of your belongings, and put them back down sideways and leave. No, Carmen, go back! Hi, Carmen. I'm reading Carmilla today for Friday the 13th / day before Valentine's Day. Also, Heidi's here.
Hi, Carmen.
This is one of the subathon redeems that I'm finally doing. Any thoughts on this chapter, Heidi, while I drink some and rest my voice for a bit?
Yeah. So when I was trying to talk about how the dad was saying how safe and stuff it was, what I was trying to say is I thought it was foreshadowing, like opposite, or like it was too much over the top. Like I'm saying that maybe the author was, yeah, it'll be safe, and I'm like, it's not gonna be safe, is it? And then now we know it's the person from before. So is this the we think this is a vampire lady.
Do you?
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
Why not?
Oh, I'm just not spoiling anything.
Oh, I think it's vampire. What? Okay, because it's the same face that she saw when she was little. Wait, but actually, I thought when she was little, it was like an old woman with white hair or something.
No, it was a pretty young lady.
Oh, who am I thinking of? Maybe it was a maid or her dad.
Probably.
Okay. So it was a pretty young woman who like held her in the bed.
Mhm.
Okay, so
And then this lady shows up and says she had the same dream, but in her dream, the main character was 19. So they both saw each other, but as older versions of themselves.
weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so it made me think she's a vampire because, well, but she didn't say anything about the bite, but like, I don't know. I assumed it's her, and she's just not telling that part because why? Let's just leave that part out. Because she doesn't want her to know she's a vampire. Anyway, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
The mom was fucking weird. And I even said earlier I was feeling sus, and I'm like, is this all set up? And like the accident, because they needed some reason to get her in the house. It might have been all set up. Maybe I'm a genius. Maybe I'm very paranoid. I don't know.
I do know. I know the story. Carmen says, I'm causing chaos. Not enough chaotic energy around here lately, and I can't work under those conditions. Carmen, I agreed. Cause all the chaos, please. I require more. Give me chaos, please. Thank you. Carmen places a live gerbil in your bathroom and uses a handful of flour to try and smoke them away, but the flour doesn't do the poof cloud thing, so you just threw a handful of powder on your floor. Thank you, Carmen. I appreciate this. This is good chaos for me. Great. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Carmen.
Carmen better clean that up. I'm not cleaning it.
I don't think she's gonna. I just have a feeling. Okay. Chapter 4. 4. Her habits. A saunter. Carmen says, poofs away, but non-flower. Oh, good thing I didn't start the chapter yet. Thank you so much for the raid, Buzzy. Hi. Hello, raiders. Welcome in.
Buzzbeak have traded with 9 viewers.
Welcome to Luna's list. I'm Luna. There's a list around here somewhere. She's never going to find it though because she has ADHD. And she's also a trans lesbian nerd girl variety streamer voice actress. You can hear examples of her voice acting by watching this stream. She's reading Carmilla from 1870, the precursor to Dracula that inspired Bram Stoker to create Dracula. Also, it's a lesbian vampire story. Hi, everybody! Welcome in, Buzzy! How was Helldivers? I hope you had fun. Say so, Seagon Raid! Welcome in, Buzzy. Welcome in, Major Minor. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. If you got a raid and fade to take care of yourself, that's totally okay. Make sure you eat water, drink food, rest, de-stream, do whatever you gotta do to take care of yourself. And I really appreciate you sharing your community with me. Everybody, please go check out Buzzbeak VT. She's absolutely wonderful and adorable. And I plan to play Helldivers 2 with her sometime. Which reminds me, I hope that's still on sale because I forgot to go buy it. It's okay if it's not, though. I'll make do. But yeah, we're reading Carmilla from 1870, the original vampire story, which was, of course, a lesbian story. Hey, Vampy Mix! What's up? Perfect story for you! Welcome in from the raid, Vampy Mix. How are you today? Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, so I'm Luna Eclipse form all day today because it's much more fitting model colors for the story we're reading. Very much the blood red hair and the dark eyes. Hi DJ, thank you for claiming your daily cheese and thank you for the lurk, much appreciated. And the hydrate, thank you.
Do I have to share the vanilla gelato?
Yes.
Dang it.
Oh my god, I just realized why all of my redeems are messed up and not working right.
What?
I can fix it really quick. I forgot to turn the triggers off for the YouTube version of all of my redeems. So it's triggering two separate things. Oh my gosh, I'm so silly. That's so easy to fix too. Okay. Just doing that real quick. Oh, I remembered for some of them, just not all of them. Interesting. Da-da-da-bung. What, Heidi? Okay. There, I fixed it. Easy peasy. I feel so smart. Brain is here now. How about you, Luna? I'm doing good, Buzzy. How are you? Please take care of yourself. Do all your self-care and stuff. This is a thing that was, redeemed as part of my subathon last summer. I am reading the lesbian vampire story Carmilla, which is, the vampire story that predated and inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula, the original vampire story. And yeah, perfect for Friday the 13th / day before Valentine's Day. I'm really enjoying it. Also, it is public domain because it's from the 1870s, so if anybody wants to heck and follow along, you can go download a PDF of the book, Carmilla, very easily. Vampy Mix says, sadly, I must go to the coffin. It be 4 a.m. I am very interested. Booksmarks VOD. Thank you, Vampy. I hope you sleep well. But yes, go to your coffin. Get you some good vampire rest. Buzzy says, doing good. Gotta hang out with friends and Helldivers too. Hell yeah. I hope that's still on sale because I forgot to buy it. But you know what I'm gonna do? Since I'm not playing a game on stream today, I'm gonna open the Steam store page and just leave it sitting on the Helldivers 2 page so I don't forget. Oh good, it is still on sale. Yay. This way I won't forget. Make sure to pause that. Okay. Ends in 40 hours. Okay. I've got the page open so I won't forget. But yes, we're, oh, yeah, and my wife Heidi's here. Say hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. That's me. Hi.
That is you. That's my darling wifey. I love her.
I love you more.
Nuh-uh.
I love you the same.
Okay, chapter 4. Chapter 4. Her habits, a saunter. I told you that I was charmed with her in most particulars. There were some that did not please me so well. She was above the middle height of women. I shall begin by describing her. She was slender and wonderfully graceful, except that her movements were languid, very languid indeed. There was nothing in her appearance to indicate an invalid. Her complexion was rich and brilliant. Her features were small and beautifully formed. Her eyes large, dark, and lustrous. Her hair was quite wonderful. I never saw hair so magnificently thick and long when it was down about her shoulders. I've often placed my hands under it and laughed with wonder at its weight. It was exquisitely fine and soft, and in color of very rich dark brown, with something of gold. I loved to let it down, tumbling with its own weight as, in her room, she lay back in her chair, talking in her sweet, low voice. I used to fold and braid it and spread it out and play with it. Heavens, if I had but known all! I said there were particulars which did not please me. I've told you that her confidence won me the first night I saw her. But I found that she exercised with respect to herself, her mother, her history, everything in fact connected with her life, plans and people, an ever wakeful reserve. I dare say I was unreasonable, perhaps I was wrong. I dare say I ought to have respected the solemn injunction laid upon my father by the stately lady in black velvet. But curiosity is a restless and unscrupulous passion, and no one girl can endure with patience that hers should be baffled by another. What harm could it do anyone to tell me what I so ardently desired to know? Had she no trust in my good sense or honor? Why would she not believe me when I assured her so solemnly that I would not divulge one syllable of what she had told me to any mortal breathing? There was a coldness, it seemed to me, beyond her years, in her smiling, melancholy, persistent refusal to afford me the least ray of light. I cannot say we quarreled upon this point, for she would not quarrel upon any. It was, of course, very unfair of me to press her, very ill-bred, but I really could not help it, and I might just as well have let it alone. What she did tell me amounted, in my unconscionable estimation, to nothing. It was all summed up in 3 very vague disclosures. First, her name was Carmilla. Second, her family was very ancient and noble. Third, her home lay in the direction of the west. She would not tell me the name of her family, nor their armorial bearings, nor the name of their estate, nor even that of the country they lived in. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the lurk. I do love the Lunar Eclipse version of the mod. That I am very cute. You're not to suppose that I worried her incessantly on these subjects. I watched opportunity and rather insinuated than urged my inquiries. Once or twice, indeed, I did attack her more directly. But no matter what my tactics, utter failure was invariably the result. Reproaches and caresses were all lost upon her. But I must add this, that her evasion was conducted with so pretty a melancholy and depreciation, with so many and even passionate declarations of her liking for me and trust in my honor, and with so many promises that I should at last know all, that I could not find it in my heart long to be offended with her. She used to place her pretty arms about my neck, draw me to her, and laying her cheek to mine, murmur with her lips near my ear, "Dearest, your little heart is wounded. Think me not cruel because I obey the irresistible law of my strength and weakness. If your dear heart is wounded, my wild heart bleeds with yours. In the rapture of my enormous humiliation, I live in your warm life, and you shall die sweetly, die into mine. I cannot help it as I draw near to you. You, in turn, will draw near to others and learn the rapture of that cruelty, which yet is love. So, for a while, seek to know no more of me and mine, but trust me with all your loving spirit." And when she had spoken such a rhapsody, she would press me more closely in her trembling embrace, and her lips in soft kisses gently glow upon my cheek. Her agitations and her language were unintelligible to me. From these foolish embraces, which were not of very frequent occurrence, I must allow, I used to wish to extricate myself, but my energies seemed to fail me. Her murmured words sounded like a lullaby in my ear and soothed my resistance into a trance, from which I only seemed to recover myself when she withdrew her arms. In these mysterious moods, I did not like her. I experienced a strange, tumultuous excitement that was pleasurable ever and anon, mingled with a vague sense of fear and disgust. I had no distinct thoughts about her while such scenes lasted, but I was conscious of a love growing into adoration and also of abhorrence. This I know is paradox, but I can make no other attempt to explain the feeling. I now write after an interval of more than 10 years with a trembling hand, with a confused and horrible recollection of certain occurrences and situations in the ordeal through which I was unconsciously passing. though with a vivid and very sharp remembrance of the main current of my story. But I suspect in all lives there are certain emotional scenes, those in which our passions have been most wildly and terribly roused, that are of all others the most vaguely and dimly remembered. Sometimes, after an hour of apathy, my strange and beautiful companion would take my hand and hold it with a fond pressure, renewed again and again, blushing softly, gazing in my face with languid and burning eyes, and breathing so fast that her dress rose and fell with the tumultuous respiration. It was like the ardor of a lover. It embarrassed me. It was hateful and yet overpowering, and with gloating eyes she drew me to her, and her hot lips traveled along my cheek in kisses, and she would whisper almost in sobs, "You are mine. You shall be mine. You and I are one forever." Then she had thrown herself back in her chair with her small hands over her eyes, leaving me trembling. "Are we related?" I used to ask. "What can you mean by all this? I remind you, perhaps, of someone whom you love, but you must not. I hate it. I don't know you. I don't know myself when you look so and talk so." She used to sigh at my vehemence, then turn away and drop my hand. Respecting these very extraordinary manifestations, I strove in vain to form any satisfactory theory. I could not refer them to affection or trick. It was unmistakably the momentary breaking out of suppressed instinct and emotion. Was she, notwithstanding her mother's volunteered denial, subject to brief visitations of insanity? Or was there here a disguise and a romance? I had read in old storybooks of such things. What if a boyish lover had found his way into the house and sought to prosecute his suit in masquerade, with the assistance of a clever old adventuress? But there were many things against this hypothesis, highly interesting as it was to my vanity. I could boast of no little attentions such as masculine gallantry delights to offer. Between these passionate moments there were long intervals of commonplace, of gaiety, of brooding melancholy, during which, except that I detected her eyes so full of melancholy fire, following me at times, I might have been as nothing to her. Except in these brief periods of mysterious excitement, her ways were girlish, and there was always a languor about her, quite incompatible with a masculine system in a state of health. In some respects, her habits were odd, perhaps not so singular in the opinion of a town lady like you, as they appeared to us rustic people. She used to come down very late, generally not till 1 o'clock. She would then take a cup of chocolate, but eat nothing. We then went out for a walk, which was a mere saunter, and she seemed almost immediately exhausted, and either returned to the schloss or sat on one of the benches that were placed here and there among the trees. This was a bodily languor in which her mind did not sympathize. She was always an animated talker and very intelligent. Noir, hi! Good evening, Luna and chat, and happy Valentine's Day. I hope this day shows you how much you are loved and appreciated by people closest to you. Thank you, Noir. Happy Valentine's Day. It's not Valentine's for me yet, but tomorrow. It's Friday the 13th for me right now. Bimo, kitty, get off my desk.
Bimo.
Buzzy says, okie dokie, y'all. I'm gonna head out. I'm very tired. Have a great rest of your stream, Luna. Thank you, Buzzy. Thank you for the raid. I hope you get good rest. Bimo, get down. Get down. Silly kitty. Okay. Where was I? She sometimes alluded for a moment to her own home, or mentioned an adventure or situation, or an early recollection which indicated a people of strange manners and described customs of which we knew nothing. I gathered from these chance hints that her native country was much more remote than I had at first fancied. And we sat thus one afternoon under the trees. A funeral passed us by. Shoot, what song did I have for that one?
It's at an ad break.
Oh, did you still need an ad break, Heidi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna take a short break for the ads, and we will be right back in a couple minutes. Now, if I could just stop being a rhino for a moment. I will stare at this until I am no longer a rhino. Ramby, I need you to go away, please, friend. What? This is the wrong monkey. I'm gonna be bruised all over after all this pegging. I am gonna be very, very bruised. Oh my gosh, it's still going! It says right there, Dangerous Cookie 385 is either a perv or a big fan of TMNT, or both. Could be both. It's probably both. So since you're saying no to me saying you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cookie, are you saying that you're a perv? If so, cool. That's fine. We don't mind pervs. Oh yeah, that's all radiation. Yay! Yummy. Hot and burning. Hot, burning, radioactive lesbians in your area. Do not drop down the hole. Hole bad. Most holes are good, but that one is not. Is this a good hole or a bad hole? Try attacking? Why? Oh! Whoa! Okay. Oh, hell yeah. That's a good message. Thank you. Hey there, Stargazer booties, boobies, and cuties. We're back from the ads, bitches. Hi. Welcome back, everybody. Okay. I just realized I pressed the wrong button, but that's okay. I can just make the thing I had set up on the other scene be over here also. Just gotta copy it. Copy. What? Why can't I copy it? Excuse me? Why not? Oh, whatever. Okay. Well. Let's do the music.
How's your voice doing?
Good. I'm having a fun time.
I'm getting eepy.
You're getting eepy.
Yeah, it's a really good story, and I'm really cozy, and I really like your voice, and I want to stay awake to listen to your voice.
Yeah.
But also I want to fall asleep because of your voice, and it's kind of hard.
Aw. Poor Heidi.
And I have a crush on you.
Aw. That's gay. Okay. Sorry, just adjusting some stuff real quick.
Like what?
Making the PDF more viewable.
I'll make you more viewable.
Thanks. There we go. That way everybody can always read the whole page that we're on. We didn't need a 2-page view, so this works out.
You're a genius.
I'm a genius.
And
Okay.
you're cute.
Thanks. All right, where were we? No. Yes. She sometimes alluded for a moment that to her own home. She sometimes alluded for a moment to her own home, or mentioned an adventure or situation, or an early recollection, which indicated a people of strange manners and described customs of which we knew nothing. I gathered from these chance hints that her native country was much more remote than I had at first fancied. As we sat thus one afternoon under the trees, a funeral passed us by. It was that of a pretty young girl, whom I had often seen, the daughter of one of the rangers of the forest. The poor man was walking behind the coffin of his darling. She was his only child, and he looked quite heartbroken. Peasants walking 2 and 2 came behind. They were singing a funeral hymn. I rose to mark my respect as they passed and joined in the hymn they were singing. They were very sweetly singing. My companion shook me a little roughly, and I turned surprised. She said brusquely, "Don't you perceive how discordant that is?" "I think it very sweet. On the contrary," I answered, vexed at the interruption and very uncomfortable, lest the people who composed the little procession should observe and resent what was passing. I resumed, therefore, instantly, and was again interrupted. "You pierce my ears," said Carmilla almost angrily, and stopping her ears with her tiny fingers. "Besides, how can you tell that your religion and mine are the same? Your forms wound me, and I hate funerals. What a fuss. Why, you must die. Everyone must die, and all are happier when they do. Come home." "My father has gone on with the clergyman to the churchyard. I thought you knew she was to be buried today." "She? I don't trouble my head about peasants. I don't know who she is," answered Carmilla with a flash from her fine eyes. "She's the poor girl who fancied she saw a ghost a fortnight ago, and has been dying ever since, till yesterday when she expired." "Tell me nothing about ghosts. I shan't sleep tonight if you do." "I hope there is no plague or fever coming. All this looks very like it," I continued. "The swineherd's young wife died only a week ago, and she thought something seized her by the throat as she lay in her bed and nearly strangled her. Papa says such horrible fancies do accompany some forms of fever. She was quite well the day before. She sank afterwards and died before a week." "Well, her funeral is over, I hope, and her hymn sung, and our ears shan't be tortured with that discord and jargon. It has made me nervous. Sit down here, beside me. Sit close. Hold my hand. Press it hard. Hard. Harder. We had moved a little back and had come to another seat. She sat down. Her face underwent a change that alarmed and even terrified me for a moment. Darkened and became horribly livid. Her teeth and hands were clenched, and she frowned and compressed her lips while she stared down upon the ground at her feet and trembled all over with a continued shudder as irrepressible as egg. All her energies seemed strained to suppress a fit with which she was then breathlessly tugging, and at length a low, convulsive cry of suffering broke from her, and gradually the hysteria subsided. There. That comes of strangling people with hymns, she said at last. Hold me still. It is passing away. And so gradually it did, and perhaps to dissipate the somber impression with which the spectacle had left upon me, she became unusually animated and chatty, and so we got home. This was the first time I had seen her exhibit any definable symptoms of that delicacy of health which her mother had spoken of. It was the first time also I had seen her exhibit anything like temper. Both passed away like a summer cloud, and never but once afterwards did I witness on her part a momentary sign of anger. I will tell you how it happened. She and I were looking out of one of the long drawing room windows when there entered the courtyard over the drawbridge a figure of a wanderer whom I knew very well. He used to visit the Schloss generally twice a year. It was the figure of a hunchback with the sharp, lean features that generally accompany deformity. He wore a pointed black beard, and he was smiling from ear to ear, showing his white fangs. He was dressed in buff, black, and scarlet, and crossed with more straps and belts than I could count, from which hung all manner of things. Behind, he carried a magic lantern and 2 boxes, which I well knew, in one of which was a salamander, and in the other a mandrake. These monsters used to make my father laugh. They were compounded of parts of monkeys, parrots, squirrels, fish, and hedgehogs, dried and stitched together with great neatness and startling effect. He had a fiddle, a box of conjuring apparatus, a pair of foils, and masks attached to his belt. Several other mysterious cases dangling about him, and a black staff with copper ferrules in his hand. His companion was a rough, spare dog that followed at his heels, but stopped short, suspiciously at the drawbridge, and in a little while began to howl dismally. In the meantime, the mountebank, standing in the midst of the courtyard, raised his grotesque hat and made us a very ceremonious bow, paying his compliments very volubly in execrable French and German not much better. Then, disengaging his fiddle, he began to scrape a lively air to which he sang with a merry discord, dancing with ludicrous airs and activity that made me laugh in spite of the dog's howling. Then he advanced to the window with many smiles and salutations, and his hat in his left hand, his fiddle under his arm, and with a fluency that never took breath. He gabbled a long advertisement of all his accomplishments and the resources of the various arts which he placed at our service, and the curiosities and entertainments which it was in his power, at our bidding, to display.
Will your ladyships be pleased to buy an amulet against the Opera, which is going like the wolf, I hear, through these woods?
He said, dropping his hat on the pavement.
They are dying of it right and left, and here's a charm that never fails. Only pin to the pillow, and you may have laugh in his face.
These charms consisted of oblong slips of vellum with cabalistic ciphers and diagrams upon them. Carmilla instantly purchased one, and so did I. He was looking up, and we were smiling down upon him, amused, at least I can answer for myself. His piercing black eye, as he looked up in our faces, seemed to detect something that fixed for a moment his curiosity. In an instant, he unrolled a leather case full of all manner of odd little steel instruments.
"See here, my lady,"
he said, displaying it and addressing me.
"I profess, among other things less useful, the art of dentistry. Plague take the dog,"
he interpolated.
"Silence, beast. He howls so that your ladyships can scarcely hear a word. Your noble friend, the young lady at your right, has the sharpest tooth. Long, thin, pointed like an awl, like a needle. With my sharp and long sight, as I look up, I've seen it distinctly. Now, if it happens to hurt the young lady, and I think it must, here am I, here my file, my punch, my nippers. I'll make it round and blunt. If her ladyship pleases, no longer the tooth of a fish, but of a beautiful young lady as she is. Eh? Is the young lady displeased? Have I been too bold? Have I offended her?"
The young lady, indeed, looked very angry as she drew back from the window.
"How dares that mountebank insult us so? Where is your father? I shall demand redress from him. My father would have had the wretch tied up to the pump and flogged with a cart whip and burnt to the bones with the cattle brand."
She retired from the window a step or two and sat down, and had hardly lost sight of the offender when her wrath subsided as suddenly as it had arisen, and she gradually recovered her usual tone, and seemed to forget the little hunchback and his follies. My father was out of spirits that evening. On coming in, he told us that there had been another case very similar to the 2 fatal ones which had lately occurred. The sister of a young peasant on his estate, only a mile away, was very ill, had been, as she described it, attacked very nearly in the same way, and was now slowly but steadily sinking.
"All this,"
said my father,
"is strictly referable to natural causes. These poor people infect one another with their superstitions, and so repeat in imagination the images of terror that have infested their neighbors."
"But that very circumstance frightens one horribly." Oh, wrong character.
"But that very circumstance frightens one horribly,"
said Carmilla.
"How so?"
inquired my father.
"I am so afraid of fancying I see such things. I think it would be as bad as reality." "We're in God's hands. Nothing can happen without his permission, and all will end well for those who love him. He is our faithful creator. He has made us all and will take care of us."
"Creator, nature," said the young lady in answer to my gentle father.
"And this disease that invades the country is natural. Nature. All things proceed from nature, don't they? All things in the heaven, in the earth, and under the earth act and live as nature ordains. I think so." "The doctor said he would come here today,"
said my father after a silence.
"I want to know what he thinks about it, and what he thinks we had better do."
"Doctors never did me any good," said Carmilla. "Then have you been ill?" I asked.
"More ill than ever you were,"
she answered. "Long ago?"
"Yes, a long time. I suffered from this very illness, but I forget all but my pain and weakness, and they were not so bad as are suffered in other diseases."
"You were very young then?"
"I dare say. Let us talk no more of it. You would not wound a friend."
She looked languidly in my eyes and passed her arm round my waist lovingly and led me out of the room. My father was busy over some papers near the window.
"Why does your papa like to frighten us?"
said the pretty girl with a sigh and a little shudder. "He doesn't, dear Carmilla. It is the very furthest thing from his mind."
"Are you afraid, dearest?"
I should be very much if I fancied there was any real danger of my being attacked as those poor people were.
You're afraid to die.
Yes, everyone is.
But to die as lovers may. To die together, so that they may live together. Girls are like caterpillars while they live in the world, to be finally butterflies when the summer comes. But in the meantime, they are grubs and larvae. Don't you see? Each with their peculiar propensities, necessities, and structure. So says Monsieur Buffon in his big book in the next room.
Later in the day, the doctor came and was closeted with Papa for some time. He was a skillful man of 60 and upwards. He wore powder and shaved his pale face as smooth as a pumpkin. He and Papa emerged from the room together, and I heard Papa laugh and say as they came out,
Well, I do wonder at a wise man like you. What do you say to hippogriffs and dragons?
The doctor was smiling and made answer, shaking his head.
Nevertheless, life and death are mysterious states, and we know little of the resources of either.
And so they walked on, and I heard no more. I did not then know what the doctor had been broaching, but I think I guess it now. End of chapter! Break time for Luna talking.
Yay. Okay. I stopped reading along and I just closed my eyes and listened. And you're really nice to listen to. But also, I think I could feel myself falling asleep. But it's not because I'm bored.
I'm reading you a bedtime story.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Kind of spooky for a bedtime story.
Yeah, but I just like listening and I'm really cozy. I just had my book laying on my tummy. I just closed it.
Yeah.
And listened.
Mm.
I don't know if I fell asleep or what. I got confused on some guy with a fiddle and did he was he a traveler that came by their house?
Traveling salesman.
Oh, and he's like, you got vampire teeth. And she's like, fuck you, I'm gonna burn you at the stake.
Well, he didn't say she had vampire teeth. He said her teeth were pointy and he offered to file them for her because he practices dentistry.
I know, and I know she
okay.
also didn't say I'm gonna burn you at the stake.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm exaggerating. I'm saying it in my own words.
Got you.
Yeah. The pages don't match up. The book, and yeah, and, the physical book we have and the PDF don't completely match up. Because my book's smaller pages, I think, than what that is.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the same. There's just a few words here and there that are slightly different.
Weird.
Yeah. At the very beginning, it said MS dot in the prologue. In this book, it says manuscript.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably what that stands for.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that enough of a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapter 5, A Wonderful Likeness. This evening there arrived from Gratz the grave, dark-faced son of the picture cleaner, with a horse and cart laden with 2 large packing cases, having many pictures in each. It was a journey of 10 leagues, and whenever a messenger arrived at the Schloss from our little capital of Gratz, we used to crowd about him in the hall to hear the news. This arrival created in our secluded quarters quite a sensation. The cases remained in the hall, and the messenger was taken charge of by the servants till he had eaten his supper. Then, with assistance... Whoa! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the follow.
Welcome in. We are totally normal here.
Welcome in. We are totally normal here. Anybody who tells you otherwise is definitely lying to you.
We wouldn't lie to you because no one would lie to you on the internet. Don't think too hard about that, okay?
I do keep my follows anonymous unless you're actively chatting, so if you want to say hi, feel free. No pressure, of course. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you. This arrival created in our secluded quarters quite a sensation. The cases remained in the hall, and the messenger was taken charge of by the servants till he had eaten his supper. Then, with assistance and armed with hammer, ripping chisel, and turnscrew, he met us in the hall, where we had assembled to witness the unpacking of the cases. Kaza wanted a shorter name, says, I'm sorry to interrupt with the follow. No, you're okay. That's totally fine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Carmilla sat looking listlessly on, while one after the other the old pictures, nearly all portraits, which had undergone the process of renovation, were brought to light. My mother was of an old Hungarian family, and most of these pictures, which were about to be restored to their places, had come to us through her. My father had a list in his hand from which he read. List mentioned. My father had a list in his hand from which he read, as the artist rummaged out the corresponding numbers. I don't know that the pictures were very good, but they were undoubtedly very old, and some of them very curious also. They had, for the most part, the merit of being now seen by me, I may say, for the first time, for the smoke and dust of time had all but obliterated them.
There is a picture that I have not yet seen,
said my father.
In one corner at the top of it is the name, as well as I could read, Marcia Karnstein, and the date 1698. I'm curious to see how it has turned out.
I remembered it. It was a small picture, about 1.5 feet high, and nearly square, without a frame. But it was so blackened by age that I could not make it out. The artist now produced it with evident pride. It was quite beautiful. It was startling. It seemed to live. It was the effigy of Carmilla. Carmilla... Like it looks exactly like her.
I knew it.
Carmilla, dear, here's an absolute miracle. Here you are, living, smiling, ready to speak in this picture. Isn't it beautiful, Papa? And see even the little mole on her throat. My father laughed and said,
Certainly it is a wonderful likeness.
But he looked away, and to my surprise seemed but little struck by it, and went on talking to the picture cleaner, who was also something of an artist, and discoursed with intelligence about the portraits or other works, which his art had just brought into light and color, while I was more and more lost in wonder the more I looked at the picture. Will you let me hang this picture in my room, Papa? I asked.
Certainly, dear,
said he, smiling.
I'm very glad you think it so like. It must be prettier even than I thought it, if it is.
The young lady did not acknowledge this pretty speech, did not seem to hear it. She was leaning back in her seat, her fine eyes under their long lashes gazing on me in contemplation, and she smiled in a kind of rapture. Wait, who's reading this?
And now you can read quite plainly the name that is written in the corner. It is not Marcia. It looks as if it was done in gold. The name is Mircalla, Countess Karnstein, and this is a little coronet over and underneath, AD 1698.
Oh wait, okay, I did the wrong character, sorry. And now you can read quite plainly the name that is written in the corner. It is not Marcia. It looks as if it was done in gold. The name is Mircalla, Countess Karnstein, and this is a little coronet over and underneath AD 1698. I am descended from the Karnsteins. That is, Mama was. Said the lady languidly.
So am I think. A very long descent, very ancient. Are there any Karnsteins living now?
None who bear the name, I believe. The family were ruined, I believe, in some civil wars long ago. The ruins of the castle are only about 3 miles away.
How interesting,
she said languidly.
But see what beautiful moonlight. She glanced through the hall door, which stood a little open. Suppose you take a little ramble round the court and look down at the road and river. It is so like the night you came to us, I said. She sighed, smiling. She rose, and each with her arm about the other's waist, we walked out upon the pavement. In silence, slowly we walked down to the drawbridge where the beautiful landscape opened before us. And so, you were thinking of the night I came here, she almost whispered. Oh, 1 second, music change. Because I have notes for where I want to change the music.
Oh my gosh, you're such a pro.
Are you glad I came? Delighted, dear Carmilla, he answered. And you asked for the picture you think like me, to hang in your room, she murmured with a sigh as she drew her arm closer about my waist and let her pretty head sink upon my shoulder. How romantic you are, Carmilla, I said. Whenever you tell me your story, it will be made up chiefly of some one great romance. She kissed me silently. I am sure, Carmilla, you have been in love, that there is, at this moment, an affair of the heart going on. I've been in love with no one and never shall, she whispered, unless it should be you. How beautiful she looked in the moonlight. Shy and strange was the look with which she quickly hid her face in my neck and hair, with tumultuous sighs that seemed almost to sob, and pressed in mine a hand that trembled. Her soft cheek was glowing against mine. Darling, darling, she murmured, I live in you, and you would die for me. I love you so. I started from her. She was gazing on me with eyes from which all fire, all meaning had flown, and a face colorless and apathetic. Is there a chill in the air, dear? She said drowsily. I almost shiver. Have I been dreaming? Let us come in. Come in. You look ill, Carmilla, a little faint. You certainly must take some wine, I said. Yes, I will. I'm better now. I shall be quite well in a few minutes. Yes, do give me a little wine, answered Carmilla as we approached the door. Let us again look for a moment. It is the last time, perhaps, I shall see the moonlight with you. How do you feel now, dear Carmilla? Are you really better? I asked. I was beginning to take alarm, lest she should have been stricken with the strange epidemic that they said had invaded the country about us. Papa would be grieved beyond measure, I added, if he thought you were ever so little ill without immediately letting us know. We have a very skillful doctor near us, the physician who was with Papa today. I'm sure he is. I know how kind you all are, but... Dear child, I'm quite well again. There's nothing ever wrong with me but a little weakness. People say I am languid. I am incapable of exertion. I can scarcely walk as far as a child of 3 years old, and every now and then the little strength I have falters, and I become as you have just seen me. But after all, I am very easily set up again. In a moment I am perfectly myself. See how I have recovered. So indeed she had, and she and I talked a great deal, and very animated she was, and the remainder of that evening passed without any recurrence of what I called her infatuations. I mean her crazy talk and looks, which embarrassed and even frightened me. But there occurred that night an event which gave my thoughts quite a new turn,
and seemed to startle even Carmilla's languid nature into momentary energy. Ba, 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 ba.
It's a good story.
Yes, it is. I like it a lot.
Did they go to a art store or what was
Art
that about?
store?
With the painting? Was it at their
No,
house?
that was brought to their house. There's a traveling delivery guy, I guess, that was delivering restored pieces of art. Like they had it sent out to be restored, and then he was bringing them back to them.
Wait, so this was art they already had
Mhm.
and sent it out to be cleaned
Yes.
at some time before the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's sus as hell.
Yeah?
Yeah. Also, they said something about the ruins of the old castle 3
Mhm.
miles away, and I'm like, I really want to go see the ruins.
Yeah?
Go to the ruins.
Maybe we will.
Well, you've read it before, so you know.
I have read it before.
I am. Each time I'm on the verge of falling asleep.
Yeah?
But I mean it in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't. But when we're done, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. We might only do half of the book today. I don't know what time it is.
Oh, it's almost 10. So when I said when we're done, I meant at 11. But can your voice go that long?
Yeah.
You don't need to go that long.
I'm doing perfectly fine. I do 6 to 8 hour streams sometimes, and I talk that entire time too.
Alright, you're gonna be tired.
I'll be fine. Alright.
Alright.
Chapter 6, A Very Strange Agony. When we got into the drawing room and had sat down to our coffee and chocolate, although Carmilla did not take any, she seemed quite herself again, and Madame and Mademoiselle de la Fontaine joined us and made a little card party, in the course of which Papa came in for what he called his dish of tea. When the game was over, he sat down beside Carmilla on the sofa and asked her, a little anxiously, whether she had heard from her mother since her arrival. She answered, no. He then asked whether she knew where a letter would reach her at present. I cannot tell, she answered ambiguously, but I have been thinking of leaving you. You've been already too hospitable and too kind to me. I have given you an infinity of trouble, and I should wish to take a carriage tomorrow and post in pursuit of her. I know where I shall ultimately find her, although I dare not yet tell you.
But you must not dream of any such thing,
Exclaimed my father, to my great relief.
We can't afford to lose you so, and I won't consent to your leaving us, except under the care of your mother, who was so good as to consent to your remaining with us till she should herself return. I should be quite happy if I knew that you heard from her, but this evening the accounts of the progress of the mysterious disease that has invaded our neighborhood grow even more alarming, and my beautiful guest, I do feel the responsibility, unaided by advice from your mother, very much. But I shall do my best, and one thing is certain, that you must not think of leaving us without her distinct direction to that effect. We should suffer too much in parting from you to consent to it easily.
Thank you, sir, 1,000 times for your hospitality, she answered, smiling bashfully. You have all been too kind to me. I have seldom been so happy in all my life before as in your beautiful chateau, under your care, and in the society of your dear daughter. So he gallantly, in his old-fashioned way, kissed her hand, smiling and pleased at her little speech. I accompanied Carmilla, as usual, to her room and sat and chatted with her while she was preparing for bed. Do you think, I said at length, that you will ever confide fully in me? She turned around, smiling, but made no answer, only continued to smile on me. You won't answer that, I said. You can't answer pleasantly. I ought not to have asked you. You were quite right to ask me that, or anything.
You do not know how dear you are to me, or you could not think any confidence too great to look for. But I am under vows, no none half so awfully, and I dare not tell my story yet, even to you. The time is very near when you shall know everything. You will think me cruel, very selfish, but love is always selfish. The more ardent, the more selfish. How jealous I am, you cannot know. You must come with me, loving me to death, or else hate me and still come with me, and hating me through death and after. There is no such word as indifference in my apathetic nature. Now, Carmilla, you are going to talk your wild nonsense again, I said hastily. Not I, silly little fool as I am, and full of whims and fancies. For your sake, I'll talk like a sage. Were you ever at a ball? No. How you do run on. What is it like? How charming it must be. I almost forget. It is years ago. I laughed. You are not so old. Your first ball can hardly be forgotten yet. I remember everything about it, with an effort. I see it all as divers see what is going on above them, through a medium, dense, rippling, but transparent. There occurred that night what has confused the picture and made its colors faint. I was all but assassinated in my bed, wounded here. She touched her breast, and never was the same since. Were you near dying? Yes, very. A cruel love, strange love, that would have taken my life. Love will have its sacrifices. No sacrifice without blood. Let us go to sleep now. I feel so lazy. How can I get up just now and lock my door? She was lying with her tiny hands buried in her rich, wavy hair under her cheek, her little head upon the pillow, and her glittering eyes followed me wherever I moved, with a kind of shy smile that I could not decipher. I bid her good night and crept from the room with an uncomfortable sensation. I often wondered whether our pretty guest ever said her prayers. I certainly had never seen her upon her knees. In the morning, she never came down until long after our family prayers were over, and at night she never left the drawing room to attend our brief evening prayers in the hall. If it had not been that it had casually come out in one of our careless talks that she had been baptized, I should have doubted her being a Christian. Religion was a subject on which I had never heard her speak a word. If I had known the world better, this particular neglect or antipathy would not have so much surprised me. The precautions of nervous people are infectious, and persons of a like temperament are pretty sure, after a time, to imitate them. I had adopted Carmilla's habit of locking her bedroom door, having taken into my head all her whimsical alarms about midnight invaders and prowling assassins. I had also adopted her precaution of making a brief search through her room to satisfy herself that no lurking assassin or robber was ensconced. These wise measures taken, I got into my bed and fell asleep. A light was burning in my room. This was an old habit of very early date, and which nothing could have tempted me to dispense with. Thus fortified, I might take my rest in peace, but dreams come through stone walls, light up dark rooms, or darken light ones, and their persons make their exits and their entrances as they please and laugh at locksmiths. I had a dream that night that was the beginning of a very strange agony. I cannot call it a nightmare, for I was quite conscious of being asleep. But I was equally conscious of being in my room and lying in bed, precisely as I actually was. I saw,
or fancied I saw, the room and its furniture just as I had seen it last, except that it was very dark, and I saw something moving round the foot of the bed, which at first I could not accurately distinguish, but I soon saw that it was a sooty black animal that resembled a monstrous cat. It appeared to me about 4 or 5 feet long, for it measured fully the length of the hearthrug as it passed over it, and it continued toing and froing with the lithe, sinister restlessness of a beast in a cage. I could not cry out, although, as you may suppose, I was terrified. Its pace was growing faster, and the room rapidly darker and darker, and at length so dark that I could no longer see anything of it but its eyes. I felt it spring lightly onto the bed. The 2 broad eyes approached my face, and suddenly I felt a stinging pain, as if 2 large needles darted an inch or 2 apart deep into my breast. I waked with a scream. The room was lighted by the candle that burnt there all through the night, and I saw a female figure standing at the foot of the bed, a little at the right side. It was in a dark, loose dress, and its hair was down and covered its shoulders. A block of stone could not have been more still. There was not the slightest stir of respiration. As I stared at it, the figure appeared to have changed its place and was now nearer the door. Then, close to it, the door opened and it passed out. I was now relieved and able to breathe and move. My first thought was that Carmilla had been playing me a trick and that I had forgotten to secure my door. I hastened to it and found it locked as usual on the inside. I was afraid to open it. I was horrified. I sprang into my bed and covered my head up in the bedclothes and lay there more dead than alive till morning. You still awake, Heidi?
Barely.
Spooky stuff.
There's a thought I've been having
Yeah?
of, like, this book's very comfortable with the sapphic stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all the way back in 18 whatever. Like, there's no sign of homophobic anything. Like, the dad isn't acting weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all very subtextual. It's not like, they're not... The main character does not know what she's doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
She's innocent and naive and does not realize that she's flirting with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but the dad isn't like, hey, you're flirting.
She's not doing anything in front of the dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Put that on silent instead of vibrate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chop, did you have anything else to say?
I'm just eat.
Okay. Chapter 7, Descending. It would be vain my attempting to tell you the horror with which, even now, I recall the occurrence of that night. It was no such transitory terror as a dream leaves behind it. It seemed to deepen by time and communicated itself to the room and the very furniture that had encompassed the apparition. I could not bear next day to be alone for a moment. I should have told Papa, but for 2 opposite reasons. At one time I thought he would laugh at my story, and I could not bear it being treated as a jest. And at another, I thought he might fancy that I had been attacked by the mysterious complaint which had invaded our neighborhood. I had myself no misgiving of the kind, and as he had been rather an invalid for some time, I was afraid of alarming him. I was comfortable enough with my good-natured companions Madame Perrodon and the vivacious Mademoiselle La Fontaine, that both perceived that I was out of spirits and nervous, and at length I told them what lay so heavy at my heart. Mademoiselle laughed, but I fancied that Madame Perdon looked anxious. By the by, said Mademoiselle, laughing, the long lime tree walk behind Carmilla's bedroom window is haunted.
Nonsense,
exclaimed Madame, who probably thought the theme rather inopportune.
And who tells that story, my dear?
Martin says he came up twice when the old yard gate was being repaired before sunrise, and twice saw the same female figure walking down the Lime Tree Avenue.
So he well might, as long as there are cows to milk in the river fields, said Madame.
I dare say, but Martin chooses to be frightened, and never did I see a fool more frightened.
You must not say a word about it to Carmilla, because she can
Oh, wrong character. You must not say a word about it to Carmilla, because she can see down that walk from her room window, I interposed, and she is, if possible, a greater coward than I. Carmilla came down rather later than usual that day.
I was so frightened last night,
she said so soon as we were together.
And I am sure I should have seen something dreadful if it had not been for that charm I bought from the poor little hunchback whom I called such hard names. I had a dream of something black coming round my bed, and I awoke in a perfect horror. And I really thought for some seconds I saw a dark figure near the chimney piece, but I felt under my pillow for my charm, and the moment my fingers touched it, the figure disappeared, and I felt quite certain, only that I had it by me, that something frightful would have made its appearance and perhaps throttled me as it did those poor people we heard of.
Well, listen to me, I began, and recounted my adventure, at the recital of which she appeared horrified.
And had you the charm near you?
She asked earnestly. No, I had dropped it into a china vase in the drawing room, but I shall certainly take it with me tonight, as you have so much faith in it. At this distance of time, I cannot tell you or even understand how I overcame my horror so effectually as to lie alone in my room that night. I remember distinctly that I pinned the charm to my pillow, fell asleep almost immediately, and slept even more soundly than usual all night. Next night I passed as well. My sleep was delightfully deep and dreamless, but I awakened with a sense of lassitude and melancholy, which, however, did not exceed a degree that was almost luxurious.
Well, I told you so,
said Carmilla when I described my quiet sleep.
I had such delightful sleep myself last night. I pinned the charm to the breast of my nightdress. It was too far away the night before. I'm quite sure it was all fancy except the dreams. I used to think that evil spirits made dreams, but our doctor told me it is no such thing. Only a fever passing by, or some other malady, as they often do, he said, knocks at the door, and not being able to get in, passes on with that alarm.
And what do you think the charm is? said I.
It has been fumigated or immersed in some drug and is an antidote against the malaria,
she answered. Then it acts only on the body?
Certainly. You don't suppose that evil spirits are frightened by bits of ribbon or the perfumes of a druggist's shop? No, these complaints wandering in the air begin by trying the nerves and so infect the brain, but before they can seize upon you, the antidote repels them. That, I am sure, is what the charm has done for us. It is nothing magical, it is simply natural.
I should have been happier if I could have quite agreed with Carmilla, but I did my best, and the impression was a little losing its force.
We got... Look! We got cheese!
For some nights I slept profoundly, but still every morning I felt the same lassitude and a languor that weighed upon me all day. I felt myself a changed girl. A strange melancholy was stealing over me, a melancholy that I would not have interrupted. Dim thoughts of death began to open, and an idea that I was slowly sinking took gentle and somehow not unwelcome possession of me. If it was sad, the tone of mind which this induced was also sweet. Whatever it might be, my soul acquiesced in it. I would not admit that I was ill. I would not consent to tell my papa, or to have the doctor sent for. Carmilla became more devoted to me than ever, and her strange paroxysms of languid adoration more frequent. She used to gloat on me with increasing ardor the more my strength and spirits waned. This always shocked me like a momentary glare of insanity. Without knowing it, I was now in a pretty advanced stage of the strangest illness under which mortal ever suffered. There was an unaccountable fascination in its earlier symptoms that more than reconciled me to the incapacitating effect of that stage of the malady. This fascination increased for a time until it reached a certain point when gradually a sense of the horrible mingled itself with it, deepening, as you shall hear, until it discolored and perverted the whole state of my life. The first change I experienced was rather agreeable. It was very near the turning point from which began the descent of Avernus. Certain vague and strange sensations visited me in my sleep. The prevailing one was of that pleasant, peculiar, cold thrill which we feel in bathing when we move against the current of a river. This was soon accompanied by dreams that seemed interminable and were so vague that I could never recollect their scenery and persons or any one connected portion of their actions. But they left an awful impression and a sense of exhaustion, as if I had passed through a long period of great mental exertion and danger. After all these dreams, there remained on waking a remembrance of having been in a place very nearly dark, and of having spoken to people whom I could not see, and especially of one clear voice, of a female's, very deep, that spoke as if at a distance, slowly, producing always the same sensation of indescribable solemnity and fear. Sometimes there came a sensation as if a hand was drawn softly along my cheek and neck. Sometimes it was as if warm lips kissed me, and longer and more lovingly as they reached my throat. There the caress fixed itself. My heart beat faster, my breathing rose and fell rapidly, and full drawn. A throbbing that rose into a sense of strangulation supervened and turned into a dreadful convulsion in which my senses left me and I became unconscious. It was now 3 weeks since the commencement of this unaccountable state. My sufferings had, during the last week, told upon my appearance. I had grown pale, my eyes were dilated and darkened underneath, and the languor which I had long felt began to display itself in my countenance. My father asked me often whether I was ill, but with an obstinacy which now seems to me unaccountable, I persisted in assuring him that I was quite well. In a sense, this was true. I had no pain. I could complain of no bodily derangement. My complaint seemed to be one of the imagination or the nerves, and horrible as my sufferings were, I kept them with a morbid reserve very nearly to myself. It could not be that terrible complaint which the peasants called the opire, for I had now been suffering for 3 weeks, and they were seldom ill for much more than 3 days, when death put an end to their miseries. Carmilla complained of dreams and feverish sensations, but by no means of so alarming a kind as mine. I say that mine were extremely alarming. Had I been capable of comprehending my condition, I would have invoked aid and advice on my knees. The narcotic of an unsuspected influence was acting upon me, and my perceptions were benumbed. I'm going to tell you now of a dream that led immediately to an odd discovery. One night, instead of the voice I was accustomed to hear in the dark, I heard one sweet and tender, and at the same time terrible, which said, "Your mother warns you to beware of the assassin." At the same time, a light unexpectedly sprang up, and I saw Carmilla standing near the foot of my bed in her white nightdress, bathed from her chin to her feet in one great stain of blood. I wakened with a shriek, possessed with the one idea that Carmilla was being murdered. I remember springing from my bed, and my next recollection is that of standing on the lobby crying for help. Madame and Mademoiselle came scurrying out of their rooms in alarm. A lamp burned always on the lobby, and seeing me, they soon learned the cause of my terror. I insisted on our knocking at Carmilla's door. Our knocking was unanswered. It soon became a pounding and an uproar. We shrieked her name, but it all was in vain. We all grew frightened, for the door was locked. We hurried back in panic to my room, where we rang the bell long and furiously. If my father's room had been at that side of the house, we would have called him up at once to our aid. But alas, he was quite out of hearing, and to reach him involved an excursion for which we none of us had courage. Servants, however, soon came running up the stairs. I had got on my dressing gown and slippers meanwhile, and my companions were already similarly furnished. Recognizing the voices of the servants on the lobby, we sallied out together, and having renewed, as fruitlessly, our summons at Carmilla's door, I ordered the men to force the lock. They did so, and we stood, holding our lights aloft in the doorway, and so stared into the room. We called her by name, but there was still no reply. We looked round the room. Everything was undisturbed. It was exactly in the state in which I had left it on bidding her good night, but Carmilla was gone.
Hi.
Also, hi, Sudoku Nerd. Thank you for the lurk, and come here to the cheese. And hello, Sunny Yoshinori. Good to see you again. I really liked that you showed up and said, "It's crisscross applesauce." That's adorable. It's for story time. I love it. Oh, actually, you might not be able to hear me because of the ads. Whoops.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
Based on this,
Is that the halfway point?
well, I just see. I'm just look at like it looks like we're more than halfway,
Oh, yeah?
and I feel like I'm falling asleep.
Yeah? You think we should stop it here and do a part 2 a different day?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you were so tired.
Yeah, I'm struggling to stay awake.
Yeah?
I don't know, but I'm loving it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. We'll just do a second stream of it then.
Yeah, and I meant to like type things to chat and stuff, and I can't because the story's so awesome.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for the ads to be over then. Let's go check out who we might want to raid. Da, 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 da.
There was one part when
Mhm.
Lydia was talking. I just remembered. I forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
She sounded like a radio host.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll have to listen to it later. It was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna go raid the wonderful, lovely Kaz. Oh, I should wait until ads are over to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Switching scenes. You're so cute, Heidi.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Okay. Hello. Hey there, Stargazer cuties, booties, and boobies. We're back from the ads, bitches. Hi. So Heidi's getting tired, and we're a little bit more than halfway through the book, so we are going to go ahead and end stream now, and we'll do a second stream of this. Hi, Rayo. You just got here. Ew, gay. Wait, no?
Look. We got cheese.
Why no, Cookie?
Yeah, why not?
Thank you for claiming your daily cheese, Rayo.
Power up.
Thank you for the power-ups, Mara. You don't know how to read. Don't leave. But Cookie...
Cookie's always like that.
I know. Heidi's too tired. Heidi's gotta go to sleep. We have a big day tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
You think you should leave to smite Cookie? I think you might have said the wrong word, Rayo. Anyway, we will do another stream of this. I'm sorry, Cookie. If you're a subscriber, please copy the top message. If you're not, please copy the bottom message. We're gonna raid the wonderful Kaz VT. What's she up to? She's playing some New Vegas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. I had a lovely time.
Me too.
And I'm glad you did, Heidi. Whoop, I can't get my stream deck to work right. There we go. We will be back with this another stream hopefully soon, because I don't want to forget too much of what's going on with the story. Same for all of you. And yeah, I'll be back on Sunday, possibly playing Valorant with Cookie. I'm not sure if you're available, Cookie. That's the plan for Sunday. But yeah, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for the big bitty emote, Cookie. Goodbye. Boop. You booped me, Heidi.
Hey, you. Hey,
Yeah,
you.
yeah. She booped me IRL, too. Oh, my goodness.
You have to do
Mwah. What thing? Bye. Mwah.